Peace to the world. We are in the new Black Wall Street. Yes, I said new Black Wall Street inside of Star Status, which is a store that represents athletics and inner me.
Welcome to Star Status store. It is the home of inner me and athletics. Inner me is all about crystals, crystal jewelry. We customize the jewelry in the store if you want us to. We have bracelets, earrings, necklaces, and then with athletics, we have the world's first conscious sportswear brand.
Created sports logos and put it on sports apparel. So you can see right here, we have Mansa Musa on the basketball shorts. We also have the ancient Egyptian Kemetic Herus on football jersey, tackle twill, captain's tag, heavyweight mesh, all quality material, authentic sports apparel. And y'all come see us at the new Black Wall Street Star Status store on Choctaw Street. Peace.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
to this day.
Yes, indeed, y'all.
To this day.
Y'all already know what it is, man. Welcome to another episode of Third Eye Thursdays. This is your host, Brother Red Pillar. Before we even begin, I want to let y'all know, backed by popular demand, because the people said that they wanted this, we are going to be bringing to you on Sunday, May the 15th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Notalege University presents to you The Evolution Will Be Digitized 22. We will be building on the future of DAOs, DeFi, and the metaverse. And we will be featuring our good brother Slice X.
To this day.
Special guest, all right?
To this day.
This brother has information. He's on the front line. He's on the field. He's outside. For everybody that has something real sideways to say about people that's out here teaching crypto and they not qualified. Well, y'all can't say that over here, because whoever we bring on board definitely is going to be qualified. And not only about talking about that thing, but they actually in the space doing shit. Okay, they in the space doing shit. All right. So shout out to my good brother Slice. Mañana, tomorrow, Friday, we're going to have an extension of this show. We're going to have the good brother on Friday. So make sure y'all pull up for that. You know what I mean? If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you get your hit the bell and all of that so you get notifications whenever we go live. But we will be in the building tomorrow with my good brother talking that tech talk. If that's not what you on, if you ain't on that technology, then that's not the show for you. And it's all good. But for all of my people that are out there who've been in the workshops, who know the importance of what the future holds and what the present holds, for the holders that are out there, for the people that are still holding on to the idea of utilizing digital assets to build wealth, this one is for you, bud. Let's do the roll call. Let's see who's in the building, and then we're gonna get into it tonight. The way that I'm feeling like an open line show. What does that mean? That means that I'm going to open up the lines. We're going to have a panel. We're going to have a discussion. You're just not going to hear me talking today. We're going to hear us. We're going to have a conversation like this is family in the building. We're going to sit down and have a round table, and we're going to powwow, and we're going to reason and whatnot. And we're going to get this man his flowers, and we're going to talk about the untimely demise of Kevin Samuels. And what does that mean? You know what I mean? What does that mean? Ultimately, you know, on many different levels and whatnot. You know what I mean? Shout out to the KT aliens in the building. Peace to all of y'all. All right. So now we got Denver in the building. We got Jersey in the building. We got Hampton in the building. Colorado in the building. Dallas, Fort Worth in the building. Clayton, North Kakalaka in the building. Crenshaw's up in this thing. Chicago. What it do, Chicago? Chirac in the building. I see you. Another Chicago heavy up in this thing. Rome, Georgia. Tremont is in here. Shout out to the tree. Shout out to the BX. I see you. Naptown is here. North Oakland in this thing. College Park. Brooklyn is up in this biatch. Bay Area. Stonecrest. I see you, Stonecrest. Okay. Rich City. Dallas. Memphis. Greensboro. Rochester. Barbados. The UK. Toronto, Canada, PG, Houston, Louisiana. Oh man, it's smelling like gumbo up in this bitch. I see you deep up in here today. Okay, I see you. Buffalo, Columbus, Winfield, Louisiana, Cashville, Tennessee. Gun Hill is up in this thing. The UK is up in this thing. Virginia, Fredericksburg, Mississippi, Lennox Mall Stepper. Okay, I see you. Texas A&M. All right, Virginia. Shout out to Virginia, all parts. Very beautiful state. No cap. Beautiful people come out of Virginia. So yeah, man. We in a building. We in a house. Tucson, Arizona. Philly is up in this thing. Shout out to Philadelphia. Shout out to Ross Ben. All right. Shout out to the Philadelphia Mystics and whatnot. Peace to the Philly family. So yeah, man. AKA Cherokee, Macon. Yeah, man. Yeah, we gonna just brought up Ross Ben's name and whatnot. He's doing these tours and shit where he just did something in Pittsburgh Decoded or Pittsburgh Unlocked, where he goes with his team and they basically go to a city and they break it down. They go to the history of the city, you know what I mean? The meridian points and things of that nature. So shout out to Ross Ben. Shout out to the good brother Uncle Mike. And out here in the South, you know, I've been petitioning for one of those mystic tours to take place because in Georgia, the Carolinas, Florida, the land of flowers, all of the surrounding areas, it's so much history. You have no idea. So much history, and it needs to be told. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna make that shit happen. That's definitely a fact. So with that being said, shout out to everybody in the building. Peace to everybody in the building. Yeah, man. Peace to everybody in the motherfucking building. Salute to everyone. You see why I be doing health checks, right? When I come through and I be like, how's the family doing? And I do even do affirmations, right? Because I don't leave it up to somebody in the audience to determine, you know, what the energy of the day is. I just go forward and just put out good affirmations. I put out good energy. I say that I'm affirming that we are all reaching each other in a good time where we're mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally healthy, right? Or if we're struggling with our health, we can find strength in this show, in this broadcast, and the information is being bestowed upon you by either me or one of my illuminated or luminary guests and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I affirm and I will that you will receive the answers which you seek when you pulling up. Because if you hear, if you in the building, that means that you coming and you're seeking. You're a seeker. Ain't nobody tuning in to watch me if they're not really seeking for something. You know what I mean? I'm not up here gossiping. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't up here spitting bars and rapping and shit. I'm not up here doing anything but, you know, obeying spirit and 95% of the time that I'm up here, you know, and we're dealing with information. You might get an occasional download or two, you know what I'm saying? We're bringing you teachers, master students that help to, you know, edify you and yours on your journey, whatever that journey may be. Whatever that journey may be, we are all on separate journeys in life. You know what I'm talking about? We're all on separate journeys. We're all on our path. However, that path, all of these paths, they lead to somewhere. So we may all be on these different paths. You heard the roll call. Mondem is in the UK. They got the Mondem in the UK, the road Mondem out there in the UK. And then you got people in the Caribbean Mondem. You know what I'm saying? And then you have people in the States and shit like that. Then you got Mondem from Africa. So we are on different grids, different meridians, different ley lines, different energy centers and whatnot. However, we're having different experiences. There's somebody that's watching me right now and the sun is out. Then there's somebody watching me right now and it's pitch black where they're at. And there's somebody watching me right now and the sun is setting and whatnot. We're in different time zones, having different experiences in real time. However, with all of that being said, we're still headed in the same place. We still have a date with destiny. We still are on this planet, right? Putting up legacies, putting up points on the board, writing our script or following the script that has already been written. Like Nas said, it was written and whatnot. And we all have a destination. And that destination is to one day be in a funeral parlor or somewhere in a box, right? Filled up in a room of loved ones, hopefully. Ones that we leave behind and we have inspired, hopefully. Loved ones who are at our side who could be vanguards for our quote unquote memories and our legacies and our history, hopefully. Children or what they call progeny that we leave behind that carry on our legacy, hopefully. And we don't go prematurely and we leave nothing behind, sadly. Or we don't go prematurely and, you know, we don't have any loved ones. Nobody can claim to love us. So when we leave this bitch, it's just our memories. We out of here. It's nobody else to hold us down after we gone. Nobody to keep our name alive. You feel me? So I'm not the life guru expert out here trying to school you about your everyday life. I'm just saying, shit. You don't have to be wise. A fool could figure this one out. Let's use our good brother Kevin Samuels for an example. He's a case study. He will be a case. They're going to write thought pieces about this man, right? And if the rumors, right, because I was not, you know, I'm not going to corroborate any rumors and whatnot. I took my time and my due diligence and I went online and I was tapping into different outlets and whatnot. And I came across a live where there were actually family members, allegedly, and loved ones, allegedly, who confirmed the story that the man may transition. That's the only reason why I'll be talking about it, because, you know, I'm not a fan of prematurely offing anybody or killing them on this earthly plane until their real time is up. You know what I mean? They've done that to a lot of the greats already. They've done that to a lot of the greats already, so I'm not going to participate in that. However, from reliable sources, it did come back that that man is no longer with us, right? And I'm like, damn, how, Sway?
How, Sway? Take a few steps back to go.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
For somebody on the outside looking in, right, who will be considered, you know, I would consider myself to have a keen eye when it comes to, you know, seeing sickness on people, right? I'm not an accredited practitioner of health. However, I've been around the healing scene for long enough to know when certain people are in dire straits and whatever they're ailing from or whatever they have dis-ease and whatnot, they wear it on their face. They wear it, you know, their aura is affected and whatnot. And you see the sickliness on them, right? So when it comes to Kevin Samuels, a remark that I'm beginning to hear and see from a lot of people was he didn't look sick. He looked healthy. He was getting to the bag. He was getting that guap. his videos and whatnot were going viral. So we only can assume that he was being paid handsomely for his digital real estate, the way Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook, and some of these other digital service platforms are set up, right? These social media platforms that are monetized. When you're one of those top streamers and whatnot, you get into the motherfucking bag. We're talking millions of dollars just off of streams, right? He was drinking way too much Red Bull. You damn right he was. You damn right he was. Don't do the Red Bull and the Viagra. That's a body bag waiting to happen, my geniuses. You don't talk about. Don't do that. That's like a bazooka, right? The Red Bull and the Viagras, right? And what we don't realize, right, when we look at people on the outside and they got their teeth done, you know what I mean? The veneers is popping. They get a shape up every other week, you know what I'm saying? They looking clean and whatnot. They're wearing designer and shit like that. You know what I mean? They're wearing designers. You know, they wearing they got their little Louis Mercers and whatnot. They, you know, they're well manicured. What we don't know though is what's going on inside of them. What's the condition of their heart? What is the condition of their spirit and whatnot? What is the condition of their blood? You know, some men and women, right, are not fully healed out here in these YouTube streets and whatnot, going through a lot of turmoil, inner battles and whatnot. You feel me? Inner turmoil, you know, with the cardiac arrest and heart related diseases taking out melanin men and women at the, I think that's one of the top killers. You know, it speaks very heavily about the conditions of our hearts and the affairs of our hearts and whatnot. And from the outside looking in, it appeared that that man had a very heavy heart. He didn't yet heal from whatever it was that he was initially going through, right? Yes, he beat cancer as well. Yes, he did. You know, what stands out the most to me, somebody said, was he removed from the chat? Or no, he lost. It's been said that he lost his life. It says R.I.P. Kevin Samuels, and I wouldn't put that up there if I wasn't, you know, it's been confirmed, not by the government or like like hospitals and whatnot. I didn't see that press release. However, I was on YouTube and there was a live taking place, and allegedly they had family members who confirmed. So pride comes just before destruction. Yes. Karma doesn't discriminate. Yes. He had mother issues. You know, he could have used some ayahuasca, y'all. You feel me? He could have used the I would have loved to see that man falling in love. Like he could have utilized his wittiness and his sharp mind and whatnot. And he was a very handsome man, you know what I mean? And like I said, I'm sure he wasn't strapped for bucks and whatnot. So financially, it seemed that he had his shit together. He could have made a great husband to one of these beautiful women out here that need one. You understand? I'm sure that if he would have courted the right sister, and I don't know what his love life or his personal life was, he might have been laid up and whatnot. He might do have a significant other. However, he wasn't out there, you know, promoting her like I'm with Bay and whatnot. I'm on a vacation. You know, in all of the years of him, living out his persona, I didn't see him hooked up with a goddess. Not to say that he has to be. However, it's only but so much work in a motherfucking day. You know what I'm talking about? It's only but so much work in a day. So it's been said that this man beat death a few times. He was terminally ill a few years ago, and he took that opportunity to basically live his life because he understood that it was a countdown. You know, that he was living through a countdown. Okay? And I don't wish death on anybody. Especially not somebody who is not out here physically harming and doing women all kind of different ways and whatnot. Yeah, he had discrepancies with the opposite gender based off of his beliefs and whatnot. And the vantage point of him being toxic is something that it'll be a discussion forever, and people will have debates about it. It'll cause divisions. I'm not going to play that part. You feel me? I know that to some people, he was being very toxic, and to others, he was their hero. But I'm going to just say it, and I'm going to just leave it like this. In the past 2 weeks, I was avoiding his videos. His videos started going viral, and I was seeing them on my timeline. And before, I would press play. But after a while, I was like, not right now. I was going through Ramadan. I was trying my best, and the shit was almost like tippy-toeing through the daffodils and the fucking tulips and not trying to step on one of them. You know what I mean? And it was not that hard, but I was trying my best to not indulge in lower frequency programming, videos and content and shit like that. But to no avail, So there was a video going around where he was getting at black women over 35 who were single. And he was basically giving them, he was like, "You're going to die alone." That was one of his favorite lines and whatnot, that he would say that. And it was very callous when he said it, because even though it may speak truth to certain people's situations, I personally know that is a very debilitating fear that women that I know personally have about dying alone or feeling like they're a failure and whatnot because they don't have that motherfucking ring at a certain type of year, at a certain age and whatnot, and they're watching people online, on social media, on cable, and everywhere getting proposed to and married and shit. Like, I mean, Gucci Man is married, my niggas. Like, niggas. So he was like, black women over 35, if they not married by now, chances are they not finna get married. And I'm like, fam, the line, you got to draw the line somewhere. Like, now you're doing real blanket statements and you're attacking the demographics of women who are very powerful, bro. You need to slow that shit down because, at this point it's like clickbait. So I wasn't really fucking with the videos because at this point I just was like, you know what? When I'm one of the batteries that I'm getting, one of the batteries in my back that I'm getting to do the opposite of what he was doing is with conscious connections. And I'm like, yo, this shit got to come out because I called him Tevin Samuels, like Tevin Campbell. I called him Tevin Samuels and whatnot. And not in a derogatory way. He just had a picture that was floating around. It was real zesty and whatnot. So he named him Tevin Samuels. So I was like, yeah, he was divorced twice. And I was like, doesn't everybody die alone? No, they don't. Okay. No, everybody does not die alone. I don't know. No, when you close your eyes, yes, you make the transition alone. However, right, if you ever been on your deathbed and you had a hand to hold on to, somebody eyes to look into, to say, you know what, I'm out of here. You feel me? And I just want to let you know that wherever I'm going, I'm setting the motherfucking table. I'm making everything right for when you arrive and whatnot. And before I do check out, I just want to let you know that you made it worth all of the motherfucking while. You know what I mean? This experience that I went through, I'm willing to let go because I know that I have fulfilled my motherfucking destiny and my journey because I discovered something that ultimately is going to free me from this plane of existence, and that's love. And I ain't talking about that puppy dog. I'm not talking about Walt Disney's version of love. I'm not talking Roman antics. Not like that. I'm talking about a certain type of love that will complete the mission, my nigga. A certain type of love that can help you learn a lesson. A certain type of love that will make sure that you don't have to come back and repeat and rinse and do this shit all over again. It obviously has something to do with our relationships. The reason why we keep coming back and back and back. And that's nothing to take away from that man. That's nothing to take away from people who are dying without a loved one and whatnot. That's nothing to take away from any of that. Just to be clear, I'm not shaming. I'm not comparing. But what I'm saying is the irony of the fact that that was one of his favorite lines about women, black women in particular, who suffer, from these disparaging numbers about the fact that men are not marrying them and whatnot. And I am not really, like I said, I haven't deep dived into his material. I don't know if he took it all the way back to the root cause, like what broke up the family. You know what I mean? What about the programming that the quote unquote entertainment industry from all different facets? You know what I mean? What hand do they play in programming our people through subliminal suggestion, amongst other things, about the fact that our families and, just to be promiscuous and to be, and to be hypersexualized and not to be family oriented and whatnot. I don't know if he went into the Moynihan report where the Democrats in the 60s and whatnot strategically got together and planned, ways to disrupt the dynamic that we had, the strong bond that we had with family that was not allowing these quote unquote Europeans to break our spirits and whatnot during our uprising and shit like that. So during the Nixon administration and during the quote, what was his name? LBJ, the LBJ, Lyndon Johnson administration, the Nixon administration, the Carter administration, going all the way into fucking Tricky Dicky, going all the way into the crack cocaine era of Ronald Reagan and shit like that. We had the heroin, King heroin that was flooded during Kennedy's era, Nixon, LBJ. That was one of the initial chemical components of the chemical war. Quiet weapons, silent war, the chemical war that they launched on urban America, right? Chemical warfare that began to erode the quote unquote foundation that our people were standing on. That foundation that we were standing on was the foundation that was shaking this motherfucking matrix up and had cities burning all around America when our people started uprising. It was the same foundation that birthed the militant movement of the Black guerrilla family, the quote unquote Black Panthers, and other people who were pushing back and revolting and things of that nature, grabbing their nuts, testicular fortitude, standing on their fucking square and whatnot. The rise of the nation of gods and earth, the rise of the nation of Islam and whatnot, the rise of the Moors, the rise of all of these organizations that were doing what? Restoring values, restoring lifestyle, restoring discipline, restoring the mastery that was lost in the people who are in the motherfucking wilderness of North Mexum or North America, sleepwalking, clinically dead. Clinically dead. So before we start bashing our sisters and whatnot, our mothers, right? Our baby mothers, our aunts, our sisters, all of that shit. Before we start getting at them and start pointing fingers and fucking judging them, we should have a honest conversation about how shit got upside down and what role that we play in doing that. We gotta study that. So what I do know is that yes, this brother had a lot of opposition from the opposite gender. His message was received by some, and there was pushback by a lot. You know what I mean? It was said that his approach or his quote unquote non-emotional stance that he was taking, he was a little hard-handed and a little blunt and a little forthcoming with his quote unquote, his judgment, and it helped make him go viral. You know, it helped make him go viral because we definitely live in this era where you will be a viral sensation, especially if you're able to get underneath people's skin and shit like that. And if you stand on the side of controversy, you will become more viral than people who are really on point and don't necessarily lean towards controversy. And, and they roll the motherfucking ball straight down the middle and they keep it tall. That's not respected in this new in the algorithm and whatnot in social media. That's not an algorithm that is going to make you go viral coming out of the gate. The algorithm that allows you to go viral and to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month deals with controversy. It deals with people hating you and loving you at the same time, loving to hate you and shit like that, as it's always been in society during, especially in the eyes of the media, right? The anti-hero, the shock jock, right? The Howard Sterns of the world, they are the ones who trend, you know what I mean? The Howard Sterns of the world, the quote unquote, like on the artistic side, like, people who are always in the news, people who are always grabbing headlines and shit like that. You had a whole president who was able to show you how that shit works. You feel me? During the attention economy and whatnot. So Kevin Samuels was just one of those characters or those actors who was benefiting highly off of his viral moments and whatnot being very controversial. And it's been said too that Big Mama is out here cleaning niggas up. You know what I mean? So a lot of people are going to point to that and they're going to say, I told you. Big Mama don't play. The ancestors don't play around about this divine feminine energy and whatnot. And as you see, a lot of people getting smited out in these YouTube streets outside and whatnot. People be getting smited. They come across that frequency or that energy. It's impenetrable. So I would say for the brothers that are out there hurting and they decided to go the route of toxicity and they decide to go the route of, being quote unquote spewing toxicity, I would say heal, brother. You know what I mean? Heal, my nigga. You feel me? Heal, fam. Begin to weigh that option out before you go the other route, because I don't think that your arms are too short to box with God. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, we could talk about that eclipse because we was already talking about it and we was letting you niggas know that black moon and that eclipse that just came is no fucking joke. You know what I mean? The bullfight, they out here, the bull season. There's a lot of pain in our communities. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of people that are suffering in silence and whatnot. And I'm not here to judge nobody. You feel me? I don't give a fuck. Men, women, and child. I'm fully coherent of the fact that people are out here hurting. They don't know how to communicate, and they don't know where to get their answers from, and they don't know they need a hug, and they don't know how to ask. Men and women. So we would be here all night if we were just to point fingers, and that's not what tonight's show is about. Tonight's show is not about that. I basically attempted to cover a lot of things, so we don't have to get on this thing and be repetitive and whatnot and say the shit that already has been said. You know what I mean? What I want to do though, I want to send out a link, because if there's anybody in the audience, we 500 deep. So there's a lot of people out there right now and whatnot. I want to give y'all the opportunity to build. Tonight is going to be an open line. I'm going to send a link out. I'm going to drop the link, as a matter of fact, in the chat room, and it's going to give up to 10 people the opportunity to come on stage with me, and we could go ahead and we could chop it up. I'll open up your lines. We could have some conversations and shit like that. It don't have to be about the topic of Kevin Samuels and whatnot. It's not necessarily about that. You could talk about what you want to talk about. I would just ask you to be very timely in your conversation and whatnot. This is not, we not opening it up for long diatribes, thought pieces and shit like that. We we're not doing that right now. We just doing Q&A, you know what I mean? And we're allowing y'all to have a voice. So let me do it. Let me copy this. Boom. I copied the link. Now I'm dropping the link in the Chattington. So the link is right there. And what we're not going to do is we're not going to compare his death with other people's deaths. And, I'm not of the, and I all of that. He deserved to die. If that's the case, give me a list of other people that deserve to go as well. Don't just throw it on that man. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, the situation that I saw with Dave Chappelle, getting attacked on stage, you know what I mean? It's just giving you an idea about the energy that's here. You know what I mean? That was all that eclipse energy. That was all that eclipse energy where homie tried to tackle Dave Chappelle and got wore out. Niggas broke his arm and they pulled his arm out of place and put it back in and all of that. That's all of that eclipse energy. That was the shadow of the eclipse. You know what I'm saying? It's letting you know, don't come running up on those stages trying to act crazy, because you will get your shit rocked. You know what I mean? That's the era that we in right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so move wisely outside. Move wisely. Move very wisely. And I would highly suggest my brothers over 40, get your hearts checked out. Get your prostate and all of these health issues that are bringing people down and whatnot. You feel me? Let's start working on, lightening up our hearts, because we could do all of this work. We could eat all of the salads that we want and all of that shit. But if we not healing our hearts, if we not getting to the core issues, if we not doing that inner work, my niggas, you could succumb to dis-ease a lot quicker than if you just get right to it. You know what I'm talking about? And that's men and women. So let's go ahead and bring in our guest and whatnot. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the line to my good brother Wyatt Kim. Young guy, what's good with you, my brother?
Peace, brother. Peace.
Man, how you been?
Man, I've been lovely, bro. I've been lovely. Man, I just finished Ramadan. It's really my first Ramadan where I finished the whole entire month. Straight fasting.
That shit was a humdinger, bro.
I swear. It was, definitely. Like the last week, man, when it hit like 6:30 and someone started growling, I'm like, man.
Man, I'm still recovering, bro. That was a shell shock. I'm still recovering. That's one of your pieces that you wearing?
Yeah.
Woo, hold on.
To this day!
To
this day!
You done stepped it up. I see you, bro. I see you.
Yeah,
I see you, King.
Yeah, I got the Black Panther in the back. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. I studied the history. Man, one video I watched with Billy Carson today. Man, he was dropping so much knowledge. Like, definitely from the high level conversation with 19 Keys, they really opened my third eye. So definitely, I'm learning, bro. Every day I'm learning, and my
That's
solo
all it.
return
Yeah.
was 2
I
days ago.
promise you, soak it up like a sponge, man, because knowledge is truly power. It ain't just a word. That's not just a fucking a cute saying and whatnot. It really is what it is, man. This knowledge is power. And when you begin to not just, receive the knowledge, but when you begin to apply it, you know what I mean? It's gonna open up the multiverse for you.
Definitely.
So how do you feel about this situation with the with Kevin Samuels? What's your thoughts on that?
See, I'm on the same boat as you. Like, I was entertaining Kevin Samuels like when he first came out, but like once I don't like really drag my black queens down, you know what I'm saying, in the mud, because they already get dragged in the mud already. We already know we all got problems. So
Right,
like I was following him, then I just took a step back. But for him to pass away like that, it's sad. 'Cause I thought it was a joke. My mom told me this afternoon, I'm like, nah, that can't be true. But like you said, for him to die alone, that's sad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right,
my thing is he was entertaining, but like, nah, I think that was, like you said, it's low frequency. I'm moving at a different frequency right now. I'm up here. I can't go back down there. So
right, right.
but I don't want to see people celebrating this man's death though. Like that's some wicked stuff. That's
Yeah,
like,
that ain't what's up right there. I
yeah,
don't condone that. This is not drill rap. We don't
no,
dance on graves. That man didn't do nothing to deserve to lose his life. He was young.
yes,
He was young. He was about 57 and whatnot. That's mad young compared to how, how young, how vigorous, we can be. We could push all the way to 100 and past that. So, you
yeah,
know, he was and it just goes to show that getting money ain't it. That's not the end all be all, because he was getting to the bag. He had multiple bags coming in.
definitely.
Feel me?
I feel you.
And to be honest with you, his fame would afford him, in my world, uh, the majority of, not any woman that he wanted, but I'm sure that if he saw something and he really wanted it and he put and he pressed it right, and he could have had his pick of the litter that's out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like he could have had a lot of women that would be willing to submit and to be a part of his journey and whatnot. So it's like, what are we doing all of this for? You know what I mean?
definitely.
Like, what are we doing? You don't want to make transition, and you don't have, you know what I mean? Because I'm just looking at it like, what is it worth? You know what I mean? Like I'm looking past the shock of it all, and I'm just saying, if you really were to ask him, with all of the messages that he was sharing, if did he want to make transition like this? You know?
No, for sure, for sure. Like I did learn some stuff from him as like a young king, and like I just took some of that, like something like, cause what's sugar. I was looking at sugar free. I know I was listening to Sugar Free with Snoop Dogg. He talking about think with this head, not with that head. And that's one thing
Right,
as young people, they think down there, they don't think up here. And like
right,
we get, especially if you own your journey as a young black guy, you can't be getting lost with the females, like this the party and all that stuff, because once you know your purpose, you just trying to line to that. And that's how I'm
right,
moving. Like some people don't understand that. And then another thing is me fasting and my health. People around me don't understand, like, why you eating this? Why you doing that? Because when I get to that age, 56, 57, I still want to drop to my knees. I still want to run around. So I'm
You
thinking
feel
long
me?
term. Long
If you wanted
term.
to have offspring, you know what I mean? Like you could have, like Dr. Sabi was producing children at 80.
Exactly.
It don't have to stop.
Yeah.
You
It's,
know,
it's
it
it's a
don't have
death
to
culture
stop.
for real. Everything like this.
So I
That's
wanted
what.
to
That's how I look
address
at it.
this statement where somebody said, I thought death was the key out of this nightmare on earth. You know what I mean? And it's like, I hear you, whoever typed that, what y'all say, and that sounds cute to the, that's like that occult shit. That's like how the hoteppers do they hotepping. That's the occult hotepping right now, where y'all all sound so, y'all to sound like y'all cool and whatnot. Y'all spout this suicidal talk about you wanting to leave, and this is a nightmare, and this is so dangerous and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, I don't see too many of y'all, if that was the case, why y'all not on some kamikaze shit? You know what I'm saying? Like when it was really going down and whatnot, why didn't any of y'all give up your husk for the movement? You know what I mean? Or for the it sounds good, but I don't believe that shit.
Yeah.
Y'all not y'all going, you leaving there to go where now? What's you
Single
feel me?
demise.
And just for the simple fact of his work and whatnot, wasn't he just getting started? You know what I mean? I highly doubt that he was ready to just tap out. He was enjoying the spoils of what this nightmarish reality had to offer. You know what I'm saying? I highly doubt that he was like, you know what? I'm just ready to go. I'm not buying that. You know what I mean? And I'm not buying that this shit is nightmarish because it's up for interpretation. You know what I mean? I would never affirm that this reality that I'm in is a fucking nightmare, because at the end of the day, it's an experience. It's an experience.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? When I look at myself and when I look at my people, I don't see a nightmare. I don't. So you have to examine the circles that you surrounded yourself with. You got to examine your support team. You got to examine your network. And you should examine the impact that you're having on others and whatnot. Because at the end of the day, how the fuck could it be a nightmare if you really living out your purpose and you out here waking people up? You out here setting things up. You out here moving shit around. Where's the nightmare at? It's only a nightmare if you give up. It's only a nightmare if you're a victim of shit, a victim of other circumstances, which usually is the decision that you made. I be seeing videos, it's niggas with no arms and they win in a dunking contest. How did that happen? What about that nightmare that they're living through? They got weightlifters with no arms. How did that happen? House weight. So I ain't with all of that that's low frequency. That's not high frequency. People are masking depression and other things as high frequency conversations. That's not a high level conversation. You feel me? If you don't like it here, my nigga, holler at me. I got a vest that I want you to wear, and I'll send you in an Uber to an address, and we'll make sure you tap out, my nigga, successfully. But holler at me. We'll go out, we'll make that shit worth it. You know what I mean? Well, you just want to wither away, we'll make it worth it. We'll make you a legend. So,
Definitely.
yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and open up some more lines.
All right, man. Hey, send me some energy. I might go to Mexico. I might do a little trip on the trip, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, please.
You know
Yeah,
what
tap
I'm
in.
saying?
Mexico is the place to get your awakening.
Exactly. My phone gonna be down. I'm just gonna be tapping in. Then my solo return was just 2 days ago, so I'm gonna
Okay,
celebrate that.
Taurus. That's what's up.
Yeah,
Happy belated, King.
Thank you. But Ray, whenever I start to Atlanta, I'm gonna hit you up. I might slide down there for a Vest Fest, so I'm gonna make sure I bring some gear down with me for you.
Right. Yeah, definitely, man. Pull up and hit me up when you do.
All
right. Peace. All right, let's keep it going. I see the queue is popping. We got a lot of people in the building. Truths and beliefs. Peace, King. Peace. All right. Be love. Peace, be love. How you doing, sis? Greetings.
Doing good. On.
Indeed. Where you tapping in from?
I'm in B-More.
Oh, you in B-More?
Yeah, Baltimore here.
Shout out to Baltimore in the building. All right. Shout out to the B-More family. What are your thoughts about this situation with the brother Kevin Samuels? How do How are you? How was that news? How you dealing with that news?
So, a friend of mine today was actually speaking about Kevin Samuels, and I missed the part where he was deceased. So I send my condolences. Um, I actually agree. You shouldn't celebrate the death of anyone. When someone passes on, you should celebrate their life. You should honor their time.
Right,
Um, Whatever their purpose was, you should be, you know, honoring that.
right,
Because when someone gives you something, you can learn from anyone. I think a lot of times we get to a place where we don't want to hear things that we don't agree with. So,
right.
um, Kevin, he was very controversial. He would say things like, if you ain't a size 4, you a 6.
Right, right, right.
The average black woman, she a little thicker. She might be around a 9, 10,
A 9
maybe
to 10, right.
a 12. But he would have you feeling like, well, damn, do I need to go out here and starve myself? Do I need to be on
Right,
Grandma 365? But the reality is, um, he brought a lot of things to your awareness that wasn't being spoken on. So
he did.
sometimes you would feel like, well, damn, is this how other men feel? So I started watching him back in 2020. We went into the pandemic. I was on YouTube. I was catching up with him, and I really felt like he had a lot of good information. I did at first.
Right,
So this is my disclaimer. At first, I felt like Kevin Samuels was like putting us on to some stuff that we wasn't privy to. We weren't aware that, men really had these thoughts, high value men, how this criteria added up. He was giving you calculations like if it wasn't 3 times your age and income and all this stuff, you're like, dang, he had a whole calculation. Yeah.
right,
So, you was like, he might be on to something here.
right, right. Because we always curious. That's how we learn. We be like, okay, I'm in your thoughts. I'm in your mind. I'm in your calculator. And it's like, oh, word. That's how. Because I listen to some women when they decide to go in, and I'm like, shit, really? And I'm learning. But go ahead.
Yeah. So one of the things that um I took from him the most, I'm gonna honor him. I'm gonna honor him tonight,
No
because
doubt.
I don't know if he's transitioned or not. And
Right.
at this point, come full circle, it's 2022. From the time that I started following him to now, I'm not a fan. I have to admit, like he's very low vibe. Like he's draining. You know what I mean? Like he got to a point where you'd be like, did he even like women? So I might
Right.
say
Right.
auntie, but
Right.
obviously, um, at this point, like I said, I'm going to edify him. So what I feel is that, when you take from someone that gives you information that is contrary to you, sometimes that's brought into your awareness so that you can learn, to change your perspective. Because sometimes we get on a one train track of mind,
One track mind. Yeah.
and we have to really open our minds up and think outside the box and start to take other people's opinions into consideration so that we can become better. So
Right.
if he has transitioned, what that allows us to do now is to become better because of him. So now we can take into consideration, like you said, he was hurting in some way, he was hurting. He went through divorces. He had loss in his life, you know. Um,
Right.
he had a right to have his preferences in women. We all got our right to have a
Right.
preference.
Right. Right. There ain't
You
no
know,
crime,
so
right?
it ain't no crime. If you like them slim, he like them slim. Some like them thick. But the
Right.
reality is, um, whatever his preference was, if he preferred to be someone that he considered high value, and there's a lot of brothers out here that aren't at that mark that he was setting as a standard. So I made some comments and I was saying that I felt as though he was spiritually killing some people, but I want to say this. Just this is why I joined the the broadcast.
Yes.
While he was saying things that could hurt you, he was also saying things that could add value. You could learn from him, you could pull from him, no
Right.
matter who it is. You can learn from a baby. So in his mindset, he had a one-track mind, and he stuck to his convictions. He never wavered. So whatever he was saying, he stuck to that message show after show. And
Right.
um, what that means is we can take our health a little bit more serious as ladies.
Right.
We can take our health more serious as women. And for the men, economically, we can start to build a little bit more,
Yes.
because these are the things that we can exchange. Women can,
Definitely.
yeah, women can bring something to the table aesthetically,
Right. Because he
and
was telling men, get your shit together. You know what I
yeah,
mean? In so many ways. He was like, look, y'all out here reaching for the stars, but these are the qualifications to even touch the stars, bro. You know what I mean? And that was kind of like, that's something that some men need to hear, because they don't hear that. By other men is not keeping it a buck with them like that. Like, fam, you shouldn't even be thinking about dating unless this, and this is in order. Stop fucking up the scene, bro. You're messing up the dating pool because you coming in here low quality. So, some of us teach with a velvet glove, and some of us are iron fisted. I would say that he came in with an iron fist, with a, the glove that has that fingers that come out of it. It's like cut right here and whatnot. He had that glove on, and then he took that glove off occasionally and was a little more heavy handed towards the end of his reign and whatnot. And people talk about his popularity and his point of view, and I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of men out here on child support. It's a lot of men out here that got done dirty by women and whatnot. It's a lot of men out here on some beta shit. It's a lot of men out here who are hypersexualized. It's a lot of men out here who hate the women that they can't necessarily, who don't want them. And they don't know how to express that in a way where they just like, you know what, ma, love and light, feel me? I appreciate you. But can you just share, what is it about me so I could better myself? What is it about me that doesn't necessarily float your boat? Men is not coming like that. They like, word, fuck you, bitch. You don't want to holler back. You know what I'm saying? And
throwing bottles down the street.
throwing bottles, and I'm generalizing, but we do know that shit goes down. We do know that happens. They threw a woman in a trunk out here in Atlanta at the gas station. They was like catcalling her, and she wasn't responding and whatnot, and these niggas threw her in the trunk, and she was in the car with her man.
What? Wow.
Dead ass. You know what I'm saying? So there's a level of toxicity that we could all benefit from if it were quote unquote, called somebody has to put the mirror up. Is it going to be a white man or a white woman? Is it going to be the children? Is it going to be Asians and Indians? No. So who's going to hold the mirror up to you, and who's going to hold the mirror up to me? It's obviously going to have to be one of us, because we're not letting nobody from the outside come in and do it. We're not letting the elders hold up mirrors to us like that. So he was needed because he was holding the mirror up. But Sister Myra came on Brother Richard's show the other day, I think matter of fact, on 2/22/22, and she dropped some information. But what she said was very profound, and it stuck with me. She said the biggest sin on this planet in these days and time is the abuse of power. If you're given power, right? Because knowledge is power. So if you're given this power and you abuse it, that's the biggest sin in the face of the ancestors. So when I look around this community and I'm seeing the teachers that are falling and they're getting struck down and locked up and cased up and everything, and their freedom is getting threatened to be taken away, is all stemming from the abuses of their power. Okay? There's some type of checks and balances in the universe that's out here cashing niggas checks. You feel me?
Yeah.
When they don't realize it, but somebody is taking inventory and they handing out karmatic passes in real time. And it's the abuse of power. It's the fact that you could talk that talk and you could basically, you have you have the gift of gab. So with the gift of gab, you can hypnotize people who are not as sharp as you, right? If you weaponize this information and you battle somebody or you beat somebody over the head with it and whatnot, that could be considered an abuse of power. If you use this information to get women out of their clothes and whatnot, you feel me? That's an abuse of power. If you take the information that you know about the psychology of women and men and you use that to manipulate and to basically break people and shame them and whatnot, that's an abuse of power. So there's a lot of abuses taking place. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that Kevin Samuels was the biggest abuser of his power, but what I would say is he knew his influence. He knew the impact that he did have and whatnot. And I'm sure at some point in his quote unquote journey, he questioned, you know what? Maybe I could be using my power for a little more beneficial reasons. Maybe I could pull these sisters up instead of beating them down and whatnot. Because, we all know that everybody has an Achilles heel. Everybody got a soft spot. That's why in boxing, they tell you don't hit below the belt and whatnot. Everybody has that below the belt spot or that place. And the reason why a lot of us are not as controversial is because we decide not to hit below the belt. But what they call shock jocks and people who are, below the belt hitters, they become popular, they become famous, their names ring bells and whatnot because they're willing to abuse other people in front of millions, in front of thousands, in front of hundreds and whatnot. And everybody's not built like that.
Yeah, so to speak to some of what you were saying in regard to hitting below the belt with the feminine, he definitely he threw a lot of low blows. He was very blunt, and anybody know when you're dealing with a female, you should kind of put a little bit of a soft glove on, like you said, a velvet glove, and he was taking it off. He was hitting you with you know,
Right.
the arm fist, like you said. He was throwing straight blows, things going straight to the jugular. Some of those females would call in, and I almost thought it was scripted sometimes because they would
Right.
call in and they would almost look like they knew they weren't qualified, but they was calling in, and he would go straight at them. Obviously, um, he had intention for helping some of these females. He would say things like, well, you need to lose some weight, or but it's not coming from a place of love.
Right.
So
It wasn't in love,
it
right?
wasn't
Like
love. So
we
I'm going to
we
say this: when you're doing
yeah.
things out here, whatever it is that you decide to do, you should operate in the spirit of love. Because when you come from a place of true, authentic love, and a lot of us don't understand what love is, but love is very simple. It's treating people the way you want to be treated. Truly, that's what love is. So when you're dealing with people in a place of love, what's going to happen is you're now opening up a gate. You're allowing someone to see you for who you truly is, um,
Right.
who you truly are. Let me say it properly: who you truly are. And it gives people an opportunity to reciprocate. When people feel attacked, they put their guard up,
Right.
and they get defensive, they shut down, whatever it is that they were going to say, they're not going to say it anymore.
Right.
um and to be truthfully frank, age is just a number. you know you 35 and up, what does that mean? Somebody in your face is 26. I'm gonna say it. You
Right.
know what I mean? I'm gonna say it. Somebody in your face is 26 don't even know how old you are, because black don't really crack, and when you take
That's right.
and you really, you nurture yourself and you operate in the spirit of love, people are attracted to you. So, for the women out here, it gives the wrong impression. That was very detrimental to younger women.
Right.
So it's just really leading you feeling like, oh, well, you're hopeless. These people out here don't even have kids at 35. So, you know,
Right.
that's the reality of it. And there's men out here that aren't married, never been married at 35. So it goes both ways.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, hell yeah.
you
Like
know, that takes a whole line of people out the box
we
automatically.
live in hip hop culture. We live in hip hop culture. In the last 35 years, the culture, the programming of the culture was not telling these sisters to get married.
Not
Let's
at all.
stop throwing rocks and hiding our hands. It was telling y'all to be, to be a fuck, to look out for the hot boys. You know what I mean? So how could we chastise a whole demographics of women who they recently started getting their shit together. You know what I'm saying? In the past 10 years, they started figuring things out and, seeing themselves with a little more, themselves as more worthy and whatnot of just what life has to offer. But if we belong to the same culture, right, we have to speak about the programming of what the culture has programmed us to do. You know what I mean? The
Mhm.
programming the culture programmed us to be very promiscuous, to use casual sex as communication, and it really underplayed the importance of quote unquote the ring, basically the institution of marriage.
Yeah, I didn't even consider marriage as a thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm an '80s baby. It wasn't even something that mattered.
Right,
I'm listening to Method Man and Mary J. We married regardless. That's wifey. That's husband. We ain't
right,
had
right.
a whole wedding. That's the
Yeah,
reality.
you don't need that. That damn them
The
people
the
in your
whole
business.
the church. You didn't need to go down the aisle to be married.
Right.
you know, and the reality is that's true. So, Red, I say to you, when you come, from a place of transparency like you do often, that's why I tune in. A lot of us are, like you said, we're still seeking, we're looking for information, we're trying to figure things out, we're
Right.
feeling our way through. And I'm just thankful that you continue to be consistent with what your efforts are. I
Thank
follow
you.
you. I've been following you for a while. You and your brother, all of y'all, KG, everybody, KT,
Appreciate
everybody.
it.
Yeah. But the reality is Kevin Samuels, like you said, he kind of brought a new mix to the whole thing that changed the vibe of the conversation, and people started retweeting him, and posting his stuff. He went viral, and you were thinking like, well, is he influencing people that already had their minds made up on what they wanted out of life, or is he going to affect the next generation?
Mm.
And my biggest thing about Kevin, I speak out against him. So a lot of times people will probably look at the comments and say, well, we don't want to celebrate his death. But I'm going to say this: it's not to celebrate his demise or anything like that, but the reality is we have to protect our babies. We got to protect the next generation. And the family structure is very important. So while we out here listening to all of that stuff he was talking about, it can cause a lot of dissension. And people can, start to move move away from um what the truth is. Love conquers all. Love is the most strongest, weapon out here on this planet.
Right.
Um, so whatever you operating from, if you ain't coming from a place of love, then you're not doing anything. And he just couldn't get back to that place. He was so broken. So I say, for us to heal and just to continue on the journey of healing, to tune into people like yourself, to question everything and definitely stay dangerous, because karma is real. What goes around comes around, or as they would say, you reap what you sow. And I truly believe that. I felt it too many times. I've experienced it too many times.
Right.
And I know how real it is. So, you be questioning some things, but some stuff is a scientific fact. When you plant a seed, something gonna pop up.
That's right. I appreciate you, be love. Thank you. Thank you. Indeed. All right.
Thank you. Good night.
Salute. Good night. All right. Let's bring in King Tutoring into the building. Peace, God. What's good with you?
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much for. I just want to come across humble and say, I don't know you. I feel I do because you're in my home on the screen. And I think our people, I have nothing but positive things to say about Kevin because he came as a content creator with the niche. We don't know that brother. That brother came with the niche, with content creation. And we can't judge this man on what his creation was of who the person he is. We have to separate the two. We looking at Bruce Wayne talking about, man, he should be a better father. And that's not even Bruce Wayne. We watching an illustration, making real life judgments. And we don't know. I've been watching you, Blue, your mother. I done sold DVDs with you in New York, brother, on side by you, bootlegging. But I don't know you. I love the content that you come up with, and I appreciate it. But that doesn't mean that you a good husband. That don't mean because you a good father. I just appreciate your content that you create and how you deliver it. So it's nothing but big ups for Kevin. He took it by storm. He brought in a niche and a way that people.
One of the reasons why I'm doing this open panel, King, I don't mean to cut your wisdom. I just want to add on. One of the reasons why we doing this is to make sure that, we do hail him up and keep his quote unquote memory and his legacy intact. I don't want to do a panel where the man is being dragged and whatnot, or he's misinterpreted. So it's important, to have a conversation with different people who may have a different vantage point on how they see this man. You feel me? So all vantage points are welcomed and accepted. So please continue.
That's all. I'm just listening, and I feel that sister's in Baltimore, or she can very well. I'm out of Compton, California. And I'm just saying, we're coming out of a pandemic. We are in each other's homes. We're not just the news anymore. And this makes us feel like we can judge one another, and we still don't know them. They're still content creators. And that's just the point I just wanted to get across to the family.
Definitely. And I like how you touched on the point that now that we're in each other's homes through our screens and whatnot, I'm just not on your phone. I might be on your TV screen. I'm in your living room, or I'm in the bedroom, or I'm in a place that's sacred. And, although we may not know each other and you don't know what I ate for dinner, there's still an assessment of character. There's still an assessment of, I might not know if Red is going through something, but I felt his energy. You know what I mean? I felt the energy. I picked up on something. My intuition told me the brother might have been suffering, or you know what I mean? So when it comes to this situation, like for me to sit back, I'm hearing stories that he met a woman last night, and after his encounter with that woman, his health began to fail, right? That's stories that we've heard before, like Khalid Muhammad's story and whatnot. That when I heard that, that's immediately what popped up. That he had a dinner, he went home, he made love to his wife, and then he went through a whole breakdown and he died, right? We know when it comes to the CIA and these other organizations, they get you with heart attacks and cardiac arrest, and things like that, where people mysteriously lose their lives. So my assessment is that the man looked very healthy on the outside, right? But I don't know what was going on with his heart. I don't know what was going on inside. I don't know, what he may have been struggling with. That's only something those who are close to him will be able to divulge and whatnot. But what I do know is that he shared something with us. He did say that he beat cancer, right? He did say that he was a survivor of a terminally ill. He already got the he already was able to dodge death. And this is something that he shared with us. So after that, people are like, yo, that Red Bull and the lifestyle is not the healthiest lifestyle for survivors and whatnot. It's almost like you might beat something and then you hop right back into the lifestyle that's going to make you continuously beat something that is going to send even stronger next time. So we just
You
here
hitting
to
on all
learn, man.
cylinders. You hitting on all cylinders. Like I said, I just didn't want to judge that brother not knowing him, because we can feel close to a lot of people that's in our homes that we see waiting for that signal to come out, their show. We feel we know Tasha K. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to say, if it could have been Tasha K that passed away,
Right.
if that's the case. And I didn't want nobody to speak negative, because she was doing a job. She was providing content. And
Right.
if anything, we should just judge her on that if we don't know her personally.
Right. For her niche, right? She was
There,
feeding her niche. She found her niche and then she fed them
there
with the content, because the content is what we sit around and wait for that notification to go off, because we want to be fed that plate of food every other night from the people who we trust, that speak our language and are going to give us the solutions to this madness that we may find ourselves in every other day. So yeah, I got you. I definitely got it, man. And it's been said that he took over the manosphere. Now, my name is Red Pill, but there's a whole movement called the Red Pill movement. I have nothing to do with that. That's the manosphere, right? Men going their own way. What they call the incels on the white side, on the European side, are the incels and whatnot. Those are usually the white males who have shown to be violent at some time as well, but they have issues with their women and whatnot, right? On the men going their own way, and the quote unquote manosphere side, those are the men who are expressing their disdain for the opposite sex, and they have talking points. When it came to that manosphere, I would say that he was the preeminent voice. He was the God. He's considered the Godfather, right? He's the master teacher in that space. So they took a huge loss with him making his transition, right? That they took a huge hit, because I don't feel like there's one qualified that could fill his shoes in that space. I'm not familiar with that space in its totality, but I haven't seen too many rising stars come out of there other than him.
may I say one more thing, Red Pill?
Yes, sir.
In this genre of YouTube, it's becoming to have longevity, to constantly be able to come up with content, to be interesting. That brother found a way to do that in his niche. And I'm just looking at him as a content creator, a provider on YouTube that we look forward. I didn't have to catch his channel to hear what he was talking about and what he was doing. He was consistent. He wasn't wavering, and he was able to produce, and you just, to me, you got to take your hat off to the man of his business, his idea, capitalizing off of it and moving forward.
Indeed, my good brother. I appreciate you, man. Salute to you. Stay dangerous. You out there in Compton. Salute to everybody in LA. You feel me? Y'all on y'all warrior business, man. So, stay dangerous, good brother. Peace. All right. Let's bring in Orlando, my good brother Londo in the building. Peace. How's everything? Yes, sir. I can't hear you. Not yet.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you. Yep, you good.
I said that was a heck of a blow that we just witnessed with Kevin Samuels.
Right.
He was. I know I be watching Millie Minoko, and she was like she just hooked up with him, and they were supposed to be doing some content together. So I was looking forward to that, you know.
Right.
And she got her YouTube going pretty good, so which is good as well.
What was her name?
Melly Manako. Monaco. Yeah, she got the Pineapple Show. She doing some connection stuff too. Matter of fact, you should hook up with her. But yeah, she's doing good over there on her YouTube channel. And oh man, this is just a heavy blow. But then I was in the show last night. I was right here where I was at, right where I'm at right now. And he was talking to one lady, and she had a baby father, and she had got him on alimony and baby child support, and she was talking dirty about the guy. See, the thing about, I know people say what they want to say about Kevin and things of that nature, but nobody's perfect as far as that goes. Everybody got some stuff in their closet. If it fall out, you know, everybody be like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, everybody got skeletons.
Yeah, so I don't even go there far as how somebody, how people feel about Kevin. As far as I'm concerned, like I spoke to Cam, I'm like I couldn't find nothing, so I went to my big brother Cam. I was like, what you think about Kevin Samuel?" And my brother Cam was like, "I ain't seen him lie about nothing." You know what I'm saying? So I know it may hurt people's feelings because they may be out of their culture or out of their right standing far as how they should be living in life, you know, how they should be carrying themselves because they're straying off the path and somebody has pulled off the cloak and everybody see them now, you know. So I can understand the truth hurts, but it's got to be said. When I first seen him, he was like a big brother to me, or almost like a father figure to me on some questions and answers. Well, on questions I didn't have an answer for, far as dealing with relationships in my past. You know, my big brother didn't tell me. My father passed, so he couldn't tell me. Nobody around me to tell me. And then this man, I'm going up on his show, and he laying. I'm like, man, this is it.
And I don't want to cut your wisdom. I want to add on that, you know, for the sisters and the brothers that are out there, because somebody is like, I was talking about this helping. This is the Will slap all over again. What are we saluting? How well he assimilated? Yeah, I'm good on this. And, you know, once again, you know what I mean? You know, this is the decision that I made on my show to have a conversation about another black man who died too early, right? And this is a content creator, right? In a space where everybody has the right to express themselves and to stand on whatever niche that they stand tall in, right? It is our duty to either not listen, or if we have an opposing view, to build our platform up and become the protagonist and the antagonist in that situation. So if I'm like, yo, I want to champion women, I'm gonna, you know what I mean? I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna oppose what this man is saying respectfully. And we're gonna have a conversation, a respectful debate or whatnot, either across platforms, or I'll just stand on what I stand on.
Correct. For sure.
What I do over here is I eulogize people from these from our community, and we don't speak ill of the dead. You understand? We don't drag the dead. We don't ignore them either, right? We don't act like we forgot that they died and whatnot. No, we speak on it and we hail them up, and we keep it as transparent as we can by bringing out all viewpoints, all different viewpoints, because this is not a one-track situation. This man was a big brother and a father figure and a role model and a big homie because he brought a level of experience and a level of wisdom and a level of information that unfortunately many of us cannot just go outside and receive.
Right.
Okay. Even if it was considered to be toxic and whatnot. No, I mean, everything is toxic. Your radio is toxic. World Star Hip Hop is toxic. The videos that you watch are toxic. A large majority of YouTube is toxic. The fact that men get paid to gossip about other men, nigga, that's toxic. So to just say that it's toxic is not saying much because we're in a cesspool of toxicity all over this shit. But I cannot, it would be remissive of me. It would be dismissive of me if I did not say that the large following that he built up was a result of him speaking to something that a lot of men need speaking to. You feel me? They need speaking to. They needed somebody to get up there and be like, look, I'm gonna be no holds barred when it comes to our plight and how men are really feeling when they scream. You know what I mean? Not when they're crying out, when they're screaming. So now that we know that voice is because even though in his transition, he might only get bigger, right? Depending on the people that are deciding that they're going to edify him, he might become immortalized in his passing and whatnot. That shit, they make statues in his name.
Yep.
So now that we know that the voice is loud and there's a large contingency of men and women that are listening, my thing is this: as solutionaries, how could we come about and circumvent that, or how could we come about and say, yo, we need to be able to continue the conversation, but now in a more healthier manner to where we're getting to some type of solutions? Because this weekend in Atlanta, I was in a situation, I was at an event where they were dealing with healing and they were dealing with solutions. And then the next day, I was at a situation that was dealing with solutions and healing and whatnot. So I'm being exposed to the fact that there is healing taking place, and you can't heal from quote unquote the gender war. You know what I'm saying? Unless men just want to give up on women totally, and if they go in their own way and they completely give up on women, what does that poster behind you say on the wall?
Buck breaking.
Breaking. Hold on. You know, if you give up on the opposite, then that must mean that you are basically going to be imbalanced and you're going to just go with your, you're going to stay on your pole. Pause. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we have the opportunity to heal at every single moment. It is not that serious. We're not that far gone to whereas we can't get to healing, and healing starts with communication. There's a deeper level of healing, but just to break the ice, we could just talk about it. We could talk about it.
Right. For sure. I mean, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the his last show, which I think need to be really looked at by everybody, especially mothers who have baby fathers and baby fathers that have mothers. I don't call them baby daddies. I got that from my sister. She was like, "Don't call my baby father or baby daddy." I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay,
father of child.
Correct. So ever since she corrected me, yes, I liked it that. So that's a good one to check out. What I like about Kevin is he showed a lot of class compared to a lot of men out here, as far as dressing up. He started out with the colognes, and back in the day, because with Brother Ben X, go back and look at what they started out with, and he was starting out with cologne. This brother built his platform up. The brother had, I was studying.
Right.
He had over 1 million in Twitter, over 1 million in Instagram, and 1 million in YouTube. That is not easy. I've dealt with the YouTube, and I'm dealing with the Instagram and all these other social medias. That is not an easy feat.
It's not easy at all.
Yeah. I was almost like, is the brother agent or something? Because the brother was just off the chain, but he was shining like that. The brother was on point. He wasn't lying. Now, some things I haven't seen all the shows because he got so many. He was just totally come with content. The brothers is an older man. He around 56, 57, but he was good with technology. He knew about all the new update technology. Even when I was learning technology, I'm looking at him like he already got it. You know, and then I put him up on something, and then he already got that, working with that, putting that up in his videos and stuff. I'm like, it don't take him no time to go to the next thing. I don't know if that was a part of it, but the brother was very, very consistent. Now, I remember back a few months ago, he had got sick, and he stayed off the air for a while, and because I was looking at him, you know, he had got a fireplace when he came back, and he was like, y'all like that? Yeah. I even got one behind mine back there. I'm like, I liked it. Giving us some class. But he was kind of, you know, still kind of sick, like he was still getting over it or something like that. And I'm like, the brother just
did he have C19?
Yes, he did. Yeah, and I don't know if he took the
jab, right?
Yeah, in a way I think he did, but I have to go back to them episodes to really to check it out. But I'm not for certain on that. That's why I ain't really want to speak on that part. But he showed a lot of class. He showed people how to dress, you know, and compared to what I've been speaking on lately, or when I spoke on this out of the Holy Quran, gave it to me like 2 days ago or yesterday about about dealing with black men and black women, and the Holy Quran said, "Can't you see how we are snatching up, or they are snatching up all your men from around you?" And then this happened. And he didn't say snatch boys or something else, snatching your men up.
Right.
You know, and then and then it was talking about how why are you being so ungrateful? Why are you being so disdainful toward your men when they're being snatched up from all around you? And what Kevin is speaking on is you don't hardly have no men left. A lot of women is going to be having to go to the grave by themselves. Why are you not? Okay, he was speaking of power. The women got the money. The women got the education. Minister Farrakhan said we must today speak truth to power. Well, that is a power. So he's speaking truth to that power. So you got the power. And if you know you got the power, education, then why are our children down at the bottom in education? If you got the money, you got the jobs, then why are our children out here begging on the street and got to sell drugs and killing each other because this bad boy got the money and this and this? When we all got money, man, ain't none of that happening like that. We out here enjoying it together. But if you got the power, then why not you help your children? I'm dealing with children on a daily basis in elementary all up to high school. So I'm dealing with them, and I'm dealing with a bunch of children as far as on the elementary level. I'm like, where is the mothers teaching these children anything? Because when I'm dealing with them, the bad boys is like out of total control, man. And I gotta kind of like focus in and key in on one at a time to talk to them and give them some therapy to calm them down. I'm like, is y'all getting some super sugar cereals or something before y'all come out to me? You know what I'm saying? It just don't make no sense. And then they're cussing like drunken sailors, man. Drunk girls and boys. These babies are young doing this.
And it goes back to the initial statement that I said about, you know, us being the hip hop generation, and you know, we're doing cognitive dissonance. We're acting like we don't know where the fuck this shit comes from. We don't act like we don't know what this culture has done to us. We don't act like we don't realize it's not even subliminal programming. It's surface program. It's not subliminal. It's on the surface. The messages, it's not even tucked away anymore. It's in your face.
Right.
We're hypersexualized. We're dumbed the fuck down, right? People are wearing badges of honor to not speak proper fucking English, right?
Right.
It's a badge of honor to be in a gang. It's a badge of honor to be a prostitute. It's a badge of honor to be a fucking killer and whatnot of your own.
Right.
I can't even mention the name of men who are considered to be martyrs in our community who went out and drilled, the boys in blue or somebody like that. That they're shamed. That's shameful in our community. But they know who Alpo is.
Right.
You feel me? They know who all of the shooters for Little Dirk is and all of that. They know all of that shit. So the parents, like, you had parents, babies having babies. You feel me? Crack babies having babies. No, I'm not taking anything away from nobody who were born under those circumstances. I just know the generations that are having children, right?
Right.
Children listen to the same music that their parents are listening to. Parents are stripping in the club with their children. They in the club. They in a section with their daughters and whatnot. They on the gram competing for thirst traps with their own children. You feel me? You got grandparents that are in their 30s. And they out there they out there thirst trapping. I got grandmamas on the gram, gilfs, thirst trapping. And I'm like, I know where their mind state is at. So that era of, Big Mama and whatnot, we don't have that anymore. That shit is gone. The era of the strong grandfather or the strong black man, the father from Good Times, John Amos, the prototype, the archetype, that's gone.
Right.
Shit is gone. So we not even having that updated conversation as to how are we going to move as this new generation, because we're drawing from what the past used to look like and what it used to hit for, and we're not in that day and age anymore. We're in a whole new wave.
Right. Correct. That's what I'm saying. And this, a lot of people will say it's the parents, but we got to go like you were just saying, we got to go further than that and go to the source, which is a wise Satan manipulating dumb devils. Dumb devils meaning people whose evils affecting others. The parents' evils is affecting the children, and the children evils is affecting the community and things of that nature. But we got to go to the core, which is the root, which is this white supremacist, this satanic way of living, these evil deities, and point them out so they can really understand. And we got to have men that can, like Kevin Samuel, point out our wrongs, liking it or not. We got to do that in the rap game. We got to do that in songs. We got to do that in the education. We got to do that everywhere we go, because we at war, and we dying like we at war. Our men are falling down on and get taken out, and the women getting taken out as if we in war, because we are in war, and we playing too much while this bad boy ain't too much playing at all. He may amuse you and play with you, but while he amusing you and playing with you, he's setting you up. He's setting you up for the trap. And then about time you get the trap, he ain't nowhere around to be seen. You see what I'm saying? This bad boy been setting traps for a whole, he trapping worlds, man.
Now that's a super fact. Let me go to the next caller though, man. I appreciate you, Orlando.
Peace.
All right. Salute,
Yes,
man.
sir. Salutes.
No doubt. We got Chief in the building, Chief Achilles. Chi-Town in the building. What's good, my brother? Peace, Chief.
What's up, bro?
You
hear me?
Good, man?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. What's good?
What's up, bro? What's going on, man?
Man, we just here chopping it up, chopping it up, giving his brother his flowers, and talking to the people.
Yeah, so what's up with you, man?
Oh man, I'm here. Just doing the work. You feel me?
I see you, man. Appreciate you putting
me
on the
you
line.
in Chicago?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yep.
Okay. Shout out to the Shy, man.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Shout out to the Shy. Did they open your city back up?
Yeah, we've been open for a minute now.
Open back up?
Yeah, we've been open for a minute now, man. Like, I think since about I think it was like in the middle of last year.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I need
Yeah,
to talk to some promoters out there. We need to get back to the shy.
yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yep.
man. How you feel about this situation with our Kevin Samuels?
Uh, I feel like Kevin Samuels was the truth, man. He spoke like the guys on the corner, man. Like, yo, I had my pops in my life. I had my pops until I was like 24. I had both my parents in my whole life, living
Beautiful.
together and everything. So he spoke like my pop spoke, man. He just spoke the truth. And you know, people that don't want to be accountable, because what happened, what people don't want to realize is Kevin Samuels had an all men show for about 3 years. And nobody talked about. He was going in on the men. He was teaching men how to dress, cologne, all that stuff.
That's how
He
he
was taking
started
you right
out,
into the,
right?
yeah. He was going into the shops, showing you how to dress, get your shoes. Then when he started going in about the women and stuff, that's when all the criticism came about. So it's a double standard in our community, man, that we need to like deal with, you know, because those conversations need to be had, man, you know. And I got a lot of female friends that come to me, my cousins and aunties, they come to me with their crap. And I'd be like, but the guys you picked are bums. So what you want me to say? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's about being accountable at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So I love what he was talking about, man, because he gave us a voice. We didn't have a voice. You know, the feminism came and took over, and they, you know, when they, you know, you seen that movie Claudine, right? When they had to kick the man out the house,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
when all the power shifted, and the women got all the power. It's, you know, it's not bad that women got power because they supposed to have power, but it's just that the system promoted them more than they promoted us, because that's the way how they could take down the warriors. They got rid of the warrior class, and then they can easily come over there and dominate the women and the children. So yeah, so Kevin was that vanguard that was rising back up from the ashes to give us that voice to basically balance things back out. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's how I feel about the brother, man. Now if he gone, let him rest in peace, man. Because everything he been saying, I've been saying to my friends for years. You know what I'm saying? And my dad and my uncles and everybody been saying.
Right.
You know, he got his little flaws like everybody else. He got his little preferences, but for the most part, he was truth. And when he spoke about the guys, nobody said anything. That's what I want to know, like what that was all about. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Yeah, he brought that up. I remember hearing him give his origin story, and he said that he started out, dealing with the brothers. You know what I mean? Because he said that, I'm not stepping into the lane of talking to the sisters because that my lane is to edify these men. I'm an elder, and
Yeah,
he's saying I want them to get if they high quality, I want them to pull their pants up. I want them to be able to wear their clothes the right way and whatnot. I want them to smell good. I want them to be of quality so they could be of sustenance for for the sisters that are out there looking for a quality man.
yeah,
So he said when he started to tap into the sisters, that was his niche. He realized that was his niche. How do people realize their niche? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. This is a numbers game on the internet. So when your following blows up, when your views triple and whatnot, you say to yourself, oh, I might be in a lane that's going to feed me. I might be in a lane that is basically my fit. How do I know
exactly,
that? The numbers are going to tell me. The numbers talk to you. They be like, look, this shit is working and the other shit is
exactly,
not. And nobody is on the internet doing what, because this is an exhaustion of energy and time and all kind of shit. Nobody's just going to put their face out there if they're going to be wasting your time. So theoretically, people are out here searching to see what's hitting and what is going to hit for. And when they find that, they're going to stand on that. And he said once he found him critiquing women and telling women some of the things that they may have wanted to hear or may not have wanted to hear,
exactly.
like, look, I found my niche, and he ran with it.
Yeah, he definitely found this niche, man. You know those conversations we have in the barbershop, man, all the time, bro.
All
It's
day.
like, we all be like, man, this. In fact, I got a guy right now he went to Europe, he went to Sweden because his baby mother, man, lied to the state because he didn't want to be with her no more, but he took care of his sons. So what happened was, she lied to the state. She went down there and filed some paperwork, and they took the custody of his sons away from him. So he ended up leaving and before he, he was thinking about hurting her. Thank goodness he talked to us about that before he did that, and he just left, went to Europe. And it's like, damn, man, it's like we see this, we all talk about this all the time, man. But us men, we be silent with our protests, but nobody gives us a voice because the system knows that we the real kings, we the original people, the aboriginal people on the planet. So if they give us a voice, we gonna take back over this throne the way we supposed to be taking over it anyway, So yeah, man.
So
that's why I appreciate it. Go ahead, bro.
Do you feel like we're at a state as men who are still healing and women who are still healing? Do you think that we're at this state now because remember, for the Kevin Samuels of the world and the other people who are in the manosphere, I'm under the assumption that over the years they've been teaching their audience and their demographic something. So after we're in the age of experience now, not teaching and whatnot. So now that we have these tools and now that we have these lessons and now that we have these truths and this wisdom and whatnot, are we now do you feel that we're ready to apply it and get to the healing amongst the genders?
Yeah, I think we are. We got enough guys and women out here telling their sides of the story now. And with the technology we have now and the information, we can easily get money through different avenues. We should be able to we in a position to transition this stuff. We're in a great position right now, despite all the financial collapse, the wars that's going on today. So that's what we should talk about. Me and you should talk about creating an avenue like that so we can, because I know you went to the health thing in Atlanta about the healing thing and all. I heard about it, but I couldn't make it. But we need to advertise more things like that, bro, so we can start the healing. What you say, bro?
Yeah. Let me put my email here for you, Kane. Like,
yeah.
Because
you still got the same number too. I got you.
Same math. Everything is the same. So hit me up. Let's talk about it. I would love to come to Chicago. I would love to put some panels together. You know what I mean? Like I want to get to the business. You feel me?
I'm a business guy, so that's what I'm about anyway. Yeah. Right. We can definitely create some avenues where we can start the healing, and we can start, because I came up with a concept. We got to start a re-civilization class because we've been uncivilized. Let's keep it real. We are. Go ahead, bro.
We have been civilized. We've been debased.
Exactly. I was talking to one of my lady friends about that, like how we need to. It take two. Both of us we contracted with this European and we accepted his benefits and privileges. And that was the reason why we failed as a civilization. And we don't want to acknowledge that. We pointing fingers at, it's the man fault, it's the woman. No, it's both of our fault at the end of the day. And we need to go ahead, bro.
And out in the movie Claudine, and I pointed out the Moynihan report earlier. The name of the report was, damn, it's on the top of my mind, but it has something. There was a segment in it called behavioral sync, right? And the Moynihan report was sort of like a treatise or a dissertation that the Dixie Democrats of back in those days, and it dealt with the Great Deal, and the Great Deal brought us welfare, food stamps, shit like that. Huh?
I say, yeah, I'm agreeing. I'm just saying, yeah.
Yeah. So we're talking about the same time period. We're talking about the same era where we were compromised. And while we were out there marching, and there was a lot of black people being lynched, and there were a lot of melanated people being abused and locked up, man, people put their souls on the line for this idea of freedom and whatnot. And the way that they hoodwinked us is they gave us none of that. They gave us assimilation into a burning house, assimilation into a defunct system. They brought a lot of the mothers into their corporate offices, the corporate structures and whatnot, took them out of the kitchen and took them out of the laundry room and took their breast off of their children's mouths and whatnot. They were wet nurses. And then they brought them into corporate America. And then corporate America blew from a multi-million. They started making billions and then trillions of dollars off of the battery that our mothers in particular provided for them. You feel me? And then they initiated Roe versus Wade, right?
Oh man, here we go with that.
Yeah, then they initiated this spell and whatnot. Then they initiated the situation of mass murder in our communities where they allowed our people to play a hand in that. Then they put crack and they put heroin and they put that aspect where the men played a hand in destroying their progeny, their communities, their families. They broke the whole backbone. So there was a whole bunch of shit going on simultaneously. Quiet weapons for silent wars. As a result of us rising up in the 60s, there was a war that was declared on us. They call it the war against poverty. They call it the war against drugs. They masked it in different wars. But after the 60s, when this shit was on the brink of almost falling, they went to war against us on multiple fronts. And that pushback that we saw was a response of the fact that the motherfucking sleeping giants were waking up and they went full gun ho on us. And we haven't admitted to the fact that we got bombed on and we still are shell shocked to this day trying to figure this shit out.
To this day. To this day.
We ain't recovered yet, man. We know what near. I mean, we know what they're recovering yet.
Billions of dollars into these organizations, these feminist organizations, the Black Lives Matters, and all of them. The Black Democrats. You know, all of these shill organizations. You feel me? All of these fluff organizations and whatnot. They are able to steer the conversation continuously. They raise up their minions out of these colleges and whatnot. They give them all of these accolades and these talking points, and they give them these resources and this power. And this shit is a vicious cycle.
Yep. Yep. It all started with us accepting the instead of we could have continued to build the Black Wall Streets. We accepted those benefits and privileges, like you said, in the New Deal, and that kick-started everything because you know they bankrupt the country with that Federal Reserve Bank,
right,
and everything. Yep. So everything you said is on point, man.
Right.
It's crazy, but nobody want to, you know, when they get caught up in that gender war stuff, they don't want to look at those facts. You know, it's sad on both parts.
Right.
Yep.
You know, so at this point, I would say the best way to honor Kevin Samuels and, you know, and his message and whatnot would be to fully immerse ourselves in a healing conversation. Even if we get our feathers ruffled and whatnot, it's all good. It's all good. We at this point, if we don't have thick skin, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? But the best way to honor his spirit and his memory, I feel, and his legacy, this is me talking, is to get to the healing, cut all of the bullshit out and all of the insults and whatnot, and get to the healing. You know what I mean? Because how can I determine if a person is high quality or what they deserve and whatnot if they not even healed?
Damn, that's deep.
It's
That's right.
You to blossom when you heal. You know what I mean? You know, if you do the 10-year challenge and whatnot for people that got into consciousness, what they were looking like and how they were vibrating 10 years ago before they changed their lifestyle and whatnot, you can't judge that older version of yourself to the newer version. So, you know, if I just sit around and beat up on people at their lower versions of themselves or what they present to us as a beat up version of themselves or a lower frequency version of themselves, I'm not necessarily, that's heavy handed healing and whatnot. And that's like guerrilla pimping in a sense. You could get things done, but it's done with a level of force and it's done with a level of, you know, spitefulness in a sense, you know what I mean? Or it's done with a level of, you know, less compassion than somebody who will come, but we all paint differently. So please, I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to steer your approach to say that you can't be heavy handed or you can't bring it the way that you want to bring it. Everyone has a different style of fighting and we are at war. This is a fight. If you speak about men's rights, know that you at war. Know that you've entered the motherfucking fight, my nigga, because you have ops out here that can oppose everything that you say and whatnot and get into some type of verbal miscommunication with you. You know, you're on the battlefield.
Exactly.
You're on the battlefield.
Yeah, like you said, with that New Deal, what they did was they stripped us of not only our our royal status, but they stripped us of our ability to be accountable. That's what the Democrats, and I'm not trying to get into a political conversation, but that's what they whole thing about, because they want you to be a victim. They want that victim consciousness
Oh
to
man,
be
they've
the higher
mastered that.
vibration. Go ahead. What you say, bro?
Trauma bond. They've mastered that.
Oh yeah. That's why we can't do nothing. As soon as you tell anybody in the community, oh, we gotta build this, we gotta buy this land, they get offended. They be like, nah, man, they supposed to do it. Like, how they supposed to do it? Just like when we was destroying our own communities when the George Floyd stuff took place. I was totally pissed off about that, because how we don't have our own stores. So when you destroy the stores in your neighborhood, then how the hell you gonna get anything? Like, it's retarded, man. So yeah, but you saying that healing, man, we gotta do that healing, man. We gotta be honest with ourselves, be accountable, and start to heal, start to work together, man. Make the sacrifices we need to make to get to the next vibration.
Right. Somebody said this is another distraction.
Oh, you just already explained it, bro.
If you were doing your work and handling your business, continue to do that. Don't allow Kevin Samuels' untimely demise to interrupt that. However, I'm a media outlet. You feel me? This is a media outlet. This is not Planned Parenthood. You know what I mean? Like, media outlet, and we deal with media stories, and we're getting in front of this story. You know what I mean? And we are bringing a solution-based narrative to interject into this story. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily see it as a distraction. I see it as talking points. I see it as this is a situation. This is a teaching moment. You feel me? This is a teaching moment. So I decide what moments that I'm going to utilize to teach the people. And for somebody who may have never heard of him before they go and check him out, if they were to watch this show, they would have a great opportunity to go and view him from a higher place of an intelligent place, a place where they're not able to judge him just based off of what they may feel. You know what I mean? How he may offend them, or how he may get them hyped. You're hearing multiple viewpoints and vantage points and whatnot that will encourage you to approach his message and what he stood for in a more quote unquote non-judgmental way, but you're able to look at it because you're gonna hear about this shit. You know what I'm saying? If you inside of the echo chamber, you will hear about it. So let's educate ourselves a little more about these people that we hear about, and we don't have any context as to what they really stood for and what they were about.
That's right, man. Because he definitely, if he is transitioned, he was definitely an icon, because he started, like you say, he took over the manosphere, and he gave them talking points that we don't, and as a community, we don't want to deal with. Let's keep it real. We don't want to deal with it. We want to point the finger at everybody else but our damn selves. And that's a disease right there. A mental disease doesn't mean something that has to be diagnosed in some Caucasian trivial book. It's the ability, or the lack of ability, to look at reality for what it is, and that we are the primary destructors of our own community. I mean, we know we got police brutality. We know they put the drugs in the community, but nobody really put a gun to our head to do that, though, like he was saying. So we got to be accountable. It's a two-way street here. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, we got to honor the man, because he brought these conversations forth so that we can deal with this reality. And I think the ancestors was behind it as well, because he came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And now we have to deal. And they the ancestors working behind the scenes to get us to go to the next vibration, so we can get that next mothership.
Right, but there's some that's going to say that the ancestors had a hand in bringing his ass down. You know what I mean? And doing that in front of the manosphere, to show you that this divine feminine energy that's on this planet is not going to allow too many people to stand on her and use her as a stepping stool and not honor this shift that's taking place. That's you're gonna hear that resoundingly.
Oh yeah. I was just saying he did his purpose to bring that conversation forth. That's all I was saying.
Right.
So now, whether how he died or whatever, the transition, like you said, it's up to interpretation. I heard he was drinking them Red Bulls a lot. I did see him drinking them Red Bulls a lot. He was.
Man,
and we know how that stuff is.
That shit pop your heart,
man. And who knows? Like the other brother was saying, we don't know him, so he probably has some other shit going on that we don't know about.
Right.
But he did his purpose, though. He brought consciousness to another level as far as our man and woman dynamics. So now we have to heal and work on that. He did his purpose, so it's up to us now to work on that stuff. But people like you and the other guys in New York and the other conscious people, y'all been talking about stuff like that for years, though.
Right.
And I appreciate you all for that, man.
Likewise, King. I'm gonna get to my next caller, man. I appreciate you, man.
I'll be hitting you up soon, bro.
Email.
All right, I got you, bro.
All right, let's talk that Chicago thing. All right. Peace. All right, I got my brother Bar None in the building. Let's go ahead and open up the line. Peace,
oh, peace, love and light.
Peace, love and light. With you, man.
Chilling, man. Just
working. Gym, getting it in, huh?
Yeah, always.
What's up?
Yeah, I just want to keep it quick. When I got the message I was getting from him, even though he's controversial,
right?
Obviously, like you say, you gotta get the likes, gotta get the numbers, the algorithm. I got from him though, he was trying to say average women or so-called average people need to date average people and give everybody a chance. Don't overlook the working guy. Basically that's what I got, because some of the women, like I think somebody else said that they seem like they was hired to be on the show, because some of the stuff they were doing is like, what? Do you hear yourself talking right now?
Right.
But could be for the views, but I believe that he was trying to let them know that you overlooking the average man and you shooting up here, and you should be shooting to the guy that you at the bus stop with. I don't know. It's kind of like he was kind of saying stay on your level in the sense.
Mm-hmm.
But you also talked about therapy. So you always talk about before you get into a new relationship, you know what I'm saying? You should seek therapy, make sure you're good before you get into that new relationship. And that's what I think everybody got caught in the words and how he came off so harsh. I think he was kind of matching energy on that level too.
Right.
So that's really basically. I ain't getting to the words. I ain't feeding to the triggering of people feeling.
Right. That's the internet.
Like
that's shit. That's how the people on. That's how the internet goes.
Well, yeah, you gotta get the algorithm popping, right?
Brash, the more brash, the more underhanded you are. The algorithm feeds that. They matter of fact, get the likes up, y'all.
To this day,
likes up, y'all. Talking about algorithm. Let's get the likes up. We got a lot of people in the building. Let's hit them likes and whatnot. You feel me? But because I'm not on the show going super. I'm not brash enough on the show. I'm not disrespectful enough. I don't talk down to the people enough to go viral. So we got to depend on hitting the damn like button. You know what I mean? But we do know after years of just observing, we know what gets rewarded in this quote unquote digital space. And that is the shit that he was doing. And he obviously knew that, you know what I mean? So he stuck to his business. What is that? His basically, his business plan.
Yeah, I think
be as controversial as possible to the niche that he found works for him, and that would be women.
Facts. I think he made some kind of like y'all talked about his past, before he became viral and everything. I think he made plenty of adjustments as time went, because again, it's a numbers game. So I think he got how can I put it? Like the more he went viral, he was looking for the moments, obviously. But at the same time, I think in the beginning, I think he had that whole thing of like date within your range, the black family,
Right.
what I'm saying, stay da. But he seen that wasn't working the same way he didn't see how it was working with the men. He kind of went, he kept making adjustments, and he just went with the numbers.
Right.
Yeah,
And like not everybody is telling women, because of this post reality show reality that once again they were programmed into. Oh, I want a millionaire boyfriend. I want to be like Yandy, or I want to be like this person, or I don't know all of their names. I want to be like Portia. I want an African. You know what I mean? Like these reality shows are steering relationships. They're steering preferences. You feel me?
I feel you. I
So
think
it's
if
not a
people,
lot, huh?
now I'm about to say, if people didn't realize reality show wasn't reality once everybody found out it was scripted and everything else, but still try to follow reality, then yeah, something psychologically ain't clicking.
I mean, truth be told, however, one of the caveats to reality television is it is a heavy programmer. You could look around and see the fashions that women began to adopt that came from the reality television. The way that they started dressing and whatnot, the way that they began to carry themselves. It got all the way to the point where they have a knockoff of Love and Hip Hop in Africa on Netflix. You feel me? And they're emulating us and whatnot, and the shit looks horrible, but it's funny at the same time. It's just funny because it's so horrible. But it's like, that let's make no mistakes that Mona Scott was out here socially engineering the impressionable minds of black women globally.
Oh, she definitely was cooking them.
Right. And we haven't had enough men and women come forward and deprogram the bullshit that was taking place over all of these years. Povich was out here programming people to act niggardly. Jerry Springer was programming our people to act like fucking knuckle draggers. The reality television, I Love New York, going from Flavor Love all the way up. The shit has been a cesspool of niggatry, and our people have willfully adopted that shit. We rolling in mud like pigs, and nobody is coming forward with the testicular fortitude, unapologetically smacking that shit down. And when he came around and started talking his talk, and there's other people that are out there that are very, very heavy-handed, they become very controversial. However, somebody has to stop the bullshit, because outside in these streets, in the minds of black men and women, we are having delusions of grandeur. We are suffering through narcissistic personality disorders and whatnot. There's a lot of things going on mentally that we're fucking struggling with, and it's been programmed into our minds through our surroundings, society, and shit like that. So somebody has to unprogram it or deprogram it. And I think that the brother did a good job for whoever the fuck he reached. You know what I'm saying? For whoever he reached. His job is not to appease and to reach and to satisfy anybody. There's nobody on the planet that can do that.
And that's you hit it right on the head. Like when it comes have you seen the interview with Dame Dash and Steven Jackson, the basketball player?
Nah, that came out recently.
Probably a couple weeks ago.
What happened?
But it's just the mindset, right? So he said he wanted to be an actor. So Dame asked him, "What's stopping you from acting?" He said, "You got the cameras, you got everything right here." He said, "Well, it takes this, it takes that." He started naming all this stuff, but he's like, "But you have it right here, and you got the money. So why you stopping?" So Dame got up, told him to start acting, and said, "Yo, that's how easy it is, but it's the mindset. You got the money, but is it the mindset, or is it the people behind the scenes? Like, is it somebody that keeping people from helping people? It could be most, so just one of the things where I think it's going to be ground zero, surface level, working in on our way out. We can't, we can't look for certain people like what Dr. Love and all these different people to talk about come together. It's time to vote and all this and that, but then they disappear. Can't look for them people.
Nah, not at all. And what I'm looking for in people is the willingness to, put their egos to the side and just finally sit down and work through whatever these issues are that we have without the expectations that you're going to solve it in the first sit down and whatnot. You know what I mean? Or without the expectations that we're having these conversations in order to fornicate with each other. You know what I mean? We have to put the lust to the side. We have to put the ego to the side. We have to put what's in it for me to the side. We have to put the hurt that we're having that we can summon up, right? In order for us to do what? Avoid looking in the motherfucking mirror or to avoid healing. Because remember, hurt people. It's the people that are wallowing in their quote unquote trauma and they're trauma bonding with other people who are in pain and whatnot. And they don't want to fucking heal. They don't, because healing is boring. Healing takes work. Healing is painful. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me about it.
Making excuses is easy. And tearing other people down and summoning, having your pain body take over to spew venom and whatnot, and to use other people as objects to strike, the quote unquote your abuser, right? And to transfer your abuser into other people and then use them as bags. That's easy. And we've seen where that shit is gonna take us, because there's a fabric that's being torn every other day as we continue in this cesspool of pain, unresolved issues and whatnot. And even if the brother came around and rubbed people the wrong way, I'm here to say that he was helping to bring a level of communication to our people, okay? Even though it may not have been received by all of our people, but it's the job of those who come behind him who are going to pick up the torch and the baton to tweak that shit and do it the way more effective, that's going to bring more healing and more people together rather than split it even further, okay? Because that's not the fucking solution. That's not getting us anywhere. Men going their own way. Where the fuck are you going? Where you going? There's nowhere. Where is you headed? China? Where you going? Bangladesh, my nigga?
They already know the black family is
huh?
They know the black family is the unit. So why would you go anywhere else?
Keep in mind, people grew up without the black family unit. They don't know what it looked like. They don't know what it's hitting for. They're running away from that because they may not have grown with that. You know what I mean? So they don't see the significance in that. Oh, I'm coming from a single family household. My mama been through mad shit. I ain't trying to I gotta wipe something up. What's the benefit for me? You know what I mean? They don't see it, so they don't have a reference point. The reference point the niggas had was Cliff Huxtable, the Cosby Show, America's Dad, right? Then what happened? There's a lot of foundations that we had that's no longer even with us. You feel me? People have healed from the crack era and the shit that took place during that era where we became very debased. Niggas really went into their lower selves. A lot of people have not even faced that trauma. So there's so much healing that should be taking place.
Nah, that trauma still affects my family to this day.
You feel me? But if we take that energy to look at women and be like, you're not a dime. You know what I mean? You're not an 8. You're a 3. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is that really going to ultimately do for us? That's really just heckling. At the end of the day, that's beating somebody down and whatnot. I don't think that even if women are running around with this, delusion of grandeur. Oh no, me and Nicki Minaj, that's my twin. Bam.
Nah.
You and Ricky Minaj twins. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's help people with their, their mental health.
Nah, mental health is definitely important in the community. So what you think about like getting therapy before even getting into a relationship? Like,
I mean, I've said this, and I don't know if it's called therapy, but I'm an advocate for elders who can be seen as counsel. More importantly, elders who may be tapped into their spiritual powers or prowess. And it would be more advantageous to have an elderly if they were a married couple, that would help a little bit more. But the balance of male and female elders, not just a male elder or just a mama or whatnot, both of them together to bring counseling. I feel that all relationships in their infancy should have a reading, a divination reading. We have experts in our community like King Simon with the numerology, right? That can help with the charts and stuff like that. We should approach our unions more science. We're not doing that. And tools are available. They have a lot of shit out there to assist us to get through the preliminary of, are you even supposed to be with this person? You feel me? According to what the stars are saying, are you even compatible? Because lust is a very strong magnet. You know what I mean? Somebody might want to knock boots. You know what I'm talking about? They might just have an itch that needs scratching and whatnot. So, once again, we're in a society that's highly promiscuous, hypersexualized, and people got their sex education off pornography. So now there's a bunch of people running around like, oh, I'm hurting whatnot. This nigga just used me, abused me, and he just wanted the boots and whatnot. But it's like, we live in a society where what the fuck the deal is. You know what's up. You know what this is about. Stick up. Stop playing. We're not gonna be silly right now. We know what the deal is. You know what I mean? We know what the message. You know what that all 20 songs that you was listening to on the way to the house at 3 a.m. You know what they was talking. You know what I'm saying?
You already know what it was when I told you I wasn't looking for a relationship, but
so it's all of this, and then there's hurt. There's children that are being born off one night stands and shit like that. Once again, Roe versus Wade. I don't think before abortion was even legalized, a lot of the problems and a lot of the shit that we're seeing right now, people don't have the discipline. They don't have sexual discipline. They're running around nuts and anything and just doing whatever they want. Almost to the point. We're to the point where shit that beasts don't even do. We're doing shit that beasts don't even do. Before they legalized abortion, go and ask your grandmamas in them. It wasn't going down like that. And you had grandmothers with 30 children, and it still wasn't sloppy. It wasn't sloppy the way it is right now. Where our women, I can't talk about nobody else women. Where our women were fucking welcome mats for everybody else that wanted a hit. It wasn't like that. You didn't have babies running around being prostituted in open air markets. They might have been doing shit undercover, but they open air with it right now.
Oh,
on
yeah.
Instagram, on Twitter, everywhere that you turn, our women is a $4 cash app. Come on now. It wasn't like that before they started legalizing and opened up a portal, in my humble opinion, a very negative portal. A very negative portal. Karma was attached to a lot of that shit. So I don't know.
So if karma, obviously karma is attached.
It's
So you
spiritual
know that
karma.
so you know that portal is massive right now.
Huh?
You said that portal is massive. If you leave a hole in it with the karma.
I mean, look at the suffering that's taking place in our quote unquote existence. Look at the suffering that's taking place in our existence and begin to ask yourself, was it always like that? I'm here to say it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't like that. That Dante's Inferno, that pit wasn't as wide as it is right now, where motherfuckers falling into it. It wasn't like that. This devil went ahead and he allowed people to be, what they despise the most, and that's devils. He like, yo, you could do anything. Your sexual proclivities, you can mimic me. So now we have our people on these kicks and whatnot. They want to get shat on and whatnot. They in Dubai getting defecated on dollars. That's not normal. That's not what we were about. That's not what Pam Grier and them and those sisters and Alina Horns, they represented in what days.
Yeah, they're doing way too much.
And we're having that conversation, and I'm not judging. I'm not downing our women. I'm not dragging them. I'm not spewing venom on them. I'm not indicting the whole fucking race or the whole goddamn generation of them. I'm just calling out shit that I see. You know what I mean? This is the point where it's so apparent and it's so widespread at this point. It's not even a secret.
It's definitely out in the open. Everything I grew up, that was like when you go in the store, it was behind the counter.
Facts.
Your pops had the joints hitting like safely. Like now it's just
open air.
Tap away. Everything. It's crazy.
So it's like if I'm a weak-minded beta, or if I'm a man who has mother issues or just issues, and I'm in high school, I'm in college, I'm in society, I'm in corporate America, I'm riding the fucking train or the bus and whatnot, there's animosity that's forming in the hearts and the minds of both genders, men and women, just because the conditions are so low. You can't help but to form animosity. You know what I'm saying? Both of us is crazy, men and women. Let's be clear. Nobody's hands is clean. You know what I'm saying? Everybody fucking is touched a little bit out in these shit. Everybody got issues. Everybody, nobody is. And the animosity is just building up because motherfuckers want to be clean and they need somebody to deflect on. So they just acting like they're better and they're more. I'm less traumatized. We all traumatized by this shit. Subtle trauma. You might have watched a commercial traumatize you and didn't even realize that it was a trauma. You know what I mean? Subtly.
See, I've been listening to you, Blue. I've been following Black Magic for like forever. So, you always talk about how, everything is love. Like that's how everything was created, love. I practice the last several years. No excuses. I used to make excuses. Oh, this happened, that happened, blah, blah, blah. This is why I ain't do boom, 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 boom. But now I know it's like it's all on me. Like, regardless of what happened, if I made a decision, I can't blame somebody for my decision. You know what I mean? And I think if a lot of people get back to taking ownership of their decision making and accountability for themselves and their own actions, even if somebody misled you, you still made the decision to do that certain task or deed or whatever. You still have to take ownership of part of that. So I think taking that ownership and accountability for whoever, whether it's male, female, It doesn't matter. I think the accountability, it's the accountability part. And like I said, you start healing within yourself and stop looking outside and saying, oh, that's the way I am. Yeah, you could pinpoint some of the reasons or what happened to you to get you where you at, but you have to look within yourself and take ownership of what decisions you made also to get where you at.
Right. Somebody said if the men are on top, take the invader man down for us sisters. Y'all got in bed with the white woman, though. What are you talking about? Y'all got in alignment with his mama.
That.
His mama.
Yo, that's crazy.
About us at lunch with his mama.
But it's so crazy.
With his mama, to where it was like, we just women. We not black no more. We just women. So I don't know what they mean by that. You know what I mean? Like, there's been a stronger bond amongst black women and white women than black men and white men. From my perspective, y'all are literally in bed with them.
Yeah, they've been used for the numbers. They've been used for a lot of things, monetary. They've been used, and they talk about knock down the invaders.
Right, after they infiltrated the movement, the Black Power movement, Gloria Steiner, it's been up and stuck from that motherfucking moment. It wasn't like that prior, but it's been up and stuck. Like, our women are being assimilated. And what does assimilation mean? You're being absorbed. The mentality, not just the blonde hair and whatnot. There's a mentality that's being absorbed. There's a mentality. That hatred exists before the absorption. That hatred towards your own man. The white woman, your man, because of obvious reasons. That hatred, that vitriol, the heaviness, to me, from a perspective of observation, it began to really trickle when the feminine started kicking off and whatnot, and they usurped the Black Power movement to this shit that, had nothing to do with us.
That's the same way, like gangs get their numbers, right? They find somebody with not a strong mindset, somebody that's looking for help or family, and they get you in, and what happens over time? You talking they slang, because you just get indoctrinated just by being in the environment.
Remember soap operas? General Hospital, All My Children.
All My Children, yeah. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Dallas, Falcon Crest. Then they had talk shows, all indoctrination, all assimilation based, all about transferring the minds of Becky and Karen into our mothers and our sisters and our aunties and whatnot. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you.
The Pretty Woman, Julia Roberts and all of that shit. That was all programmed.
Yeah, when I go to my mom's crib, she get mad at me. I be turning her TV on because she be having Lifetime on every time I go in there.
They saying that your volume might be too high. It's feedback.
Oh, okay. Is that better?
Hold on. Does it sound better, y'all? Yeah.
So she watched the Lifetime channel. Like, you ever seen the Lifetime channel?
Crazy.
Yo, you talk about Becky
and chicken.
Becky on steroids.
It's raisins in the fucking potato salad.
I go in there. I be like, what? I just turn it right off, and I'm like, yo, you need to watch this. You know what I'm saying? My mother's 67.
Right.
And thanks. And like I said, the indoctrination card. I sit there for a second and be like, yo, what is this stuff? Like, this is crazy. Like, people sit here and watch this, but they do, and like I said, it gets to their mind. This is what they envision in life. This is how they want to live their life.
Right. And Oprah is the $1 billion mascot for that bait and switch. Who wrote that? Thank you, Darius. Oprah is the billionaire mascot for the bait and switch. that indoctrinated and captured the impressionable minds of our women when y'all were, your grandmothers and your mothers were put in this fear place after they killed Kennedy and whatnot. And once they seen Dr. Martin Luther King's head get blown off and whatnot, they were put into a place of intense fear in America. And they started inundating them with a heavy, heavy indoctrination. And the last quote unquote pillar that was left standing was the music. And once they knocked that pillar down, and who did it specifically? Clive Davis through what was it? I think it was CBS Records when they took over the Philadelphia sound, right? They that was the first Gambling Huff, Stax Records and whatnot. That was the first infiltration of rhythm and blues. And after that, they swept the whole fucking black music industry or the black music department and whatnot. And they took our music. Okay? They took our music. And that was the last straw. So they manipulating through movies, TV, music, all forms of media, and there's really not much that people can do when they're being intertrained and whatnot. How you gonna fight something and you like an alpha state? How you gonna fight something and it's fucking is firing off all of your neurons? You're letting dopamine and serotonin off while you're watching this movie and whatnot. It got Morris Chestnut in it. It's nothing that you can do. Sidney Poitier, you know what I mean? Harry Belafonte and this nigga, you know what I mean?
Yo, what was Action Jackson's name? What Action Jackson?
Yeah, my dude, Action Jack. How you gonna fight Action Jackson? Like, there's no fighting that, you know? So our people got heavily indoctrinated, assimilated, and that war the European, the Karen had with Stan or Ken, for some reason and somehow, some way, it's now been quote unquote even their quote unquote their counterproductive lifestyles and whatnot, their alternative lifestyles. That was a European thing at first. Ask your mamas, ask your peoples and whatnot. That was not part of our quote unquote. That was not part of our experience. Hell to the nod. We was not on it like that. We were not the brand ambassadors of that lifestyle, and that shit got transferred to us in a matter of decades. How is that?
How? Because, like you said, when in Rome, and you got it, and I'll be trying to explain to people, like, just because they look like you, that don't mean they your people.
So
but people get bait and switched all the time.
So I say all of that to say that I'm not here. Once I realize what we are up against, and when I have because I'm just pointing out a smidgen of where things went wrong and whatnot, right? I'm just pointing out a smidgen of it. It's not even the totality of this quote unquote these issues that we are, addressing. However, by pointing it out and by giving light to it and by calling it out, we now have the opportunity to fix it or correct it, to approach it, or to collectively say, can we look at this shit? What could we remove ego and emotion? And could we really just observe what's going on? What's the system running in the background? What is the operational system? And how can we change into another system? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we could have, we could make this man Samuel's transition to not being naught. If he truly was about helping and not just gathering, YouTube checks and whatnot, but if he was about shifting the paradigm, if he was about some type of healing, because I feel like we're about 5 to 10 years away from the conversation about healing, being, accepted in Black America. That shit is at the dinner table like everything else. It's too much in a way for us to adopt healing. They're making billions of dollars off of hurting each other still. Hurt is in the way of heal. When heal try to walk through the door, hurt is like, hold on, nigga. We cooking these niggas like it ain't your turn yet. You know what I'm talking about? We not done yet. And we cooking these niggas that this hurt is, this shit is turning into something. So go ahead and have your hot girl summer. You feel me? Burn it up. You feel me? Exhaust yourself. You feel me, brothers? Go ahead. You have a good ass. Go ahead and drill all summer. Do what you do. You know what I mean? Let it all hang out. And when you're ready to heal, you ready to put that aside and whatnot, and you ready to get to the truth, but then tap in. We here for you.
Yeah, I think when people listen to anybody, when you have conversations, especially on like platforms, right? YouTube, Instagram, all those places. You're going to agree to disagree. You're going to agree with some things are going to tap and trigger you. But I think, again, we have to take some of it as for what it is. Like, all right, that's entertainment. Oh, that's good. That's actually something I could run with. And I think we just can't listen to what we want to hear and be like, oh, I don't like the way he or she said that. Like, we have to get past that and actually listen to the message as a whole and not get caught in the clickbait. Listen to the whole conversation, get the whole contents of everything.
And I be worried about people to say what they don't like, because 6 or 7 times out of the 10, they love that shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, it should be entertaining.
Sometimes, women are attracted to men, but if that man is not, walking that walk, or if he ain't saying the shit that they want him to say, then it turns into, I can't stand that nigga. Yeah, okay. I've seen how that shit turned out many a times. The one that they can't stand, they be in the motherfucking, you feel me?
Yeah, one of the quickest tactics is touch your emotion.
That. So I walk a thin line when I hear women espouse about what they don't like. Sometimes that's what they really like.
Yeah, gotta be yeah, that's a fact. Well, I appreciate you, Rad. I'm about to go off this joint.
No doubt, bro.
Get back to the business.
Good workout, man.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Safe.
Yeah, man. So I think that we are going to take that as our last conversation for the night. We're gonna wound this thing up. Real quick, a commercial for anybody coming in the building. Tomorrow, mañana, all right, we're gonna have my brother Slice in the building. All right, Slice is back. You feel me? Y'all called, y'all said that y'all wanted some digital, y'all wanted some for 2022. Y'all wanted to talk that talk about what's going on in the digital world. So we heard you and we listened, and we're back with the Evolution Will Be Digitized 2022. We're going to be talking about all of the things that are going on in this space that you may not know about, because you might not be in this space. And even if you're in this space, I want you to hear from somebody who's making big fucking moves in this space. My good brother Slice, he just launched a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, about a week ago. He's been doing major things, going to major conferences. They just made the news the other day about onboarding Mark Cuban into the metaverse. He just did something with Wiz Khalifa in the metaverse. So Son is making big moves. He's qualified to speak on all things crypto, all things metaverse, all things DeFi. And we're going to have Slice in the building. We are going to be doing an online workshop May 15th. That's in a few days, damn near, at 11 a.m. on Sunday. KTL University, y'all. You already know what it is. Go and get your tickets. All right, pull up and get your tickets. Okay, and we will have him in the building mañana. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're getting all of the notifications. I think YouTube be hiding them sometimes, and it's all good. Yeah, man, long story short, right? What do we learn in a situation like this? 2 or 3 things. 1, money is not the end all be all. Getting your teeth fixed, dressing good, having a nice background, being able to present yourself to the people, all of these things are cool. But at the end of the day, they could be seen as superficial, because at the end of the day, what's going on inside of us, it always points to us. It always points to our health and whatnot. You feel me? He was getting the bag. Kevin Samuels, I'm sure he was clearing more than a few million a year and whatnot, just based off of what he was getting in a digital economy, just based off of his real estate, just based off of him going viral. However, did that speed up his quote unquote failing health, or did it slow it down? With all of the money that he was getting, was he going to get the right treatments and whatnot? Did he have practitioners around him? Was he murdered? Right? Did the woman that he was with the last night and whatnot slip something into his drink? Did the ancestors come and get him? Right? Because if the ancestors came and got him, are the ancestors going to get the Supreme Court as well? Are the ancestors going to get the woman who helped put what's my dude? Emmett Till on the bottom of a river, who lied on him? Are they out there drilling the other side as well, or just our own people? I'm asking for a friend. So there's a lot of questions, but ultimately I'm going to walk away from this saying health is wealth once again. And that's not me sitting on a soapbox acting like I'm more healthier than you. You know what I mean? It's not me sitting up here like I'm the master scientist. I just know that health is wealth. In order to enjoy your wealth, in order to enjoy your riches, and in order to enjoy your fame, in order to enjoy your popularity, in order to enjoy the all of the prospects and the doors that open up for you, you got to be in tip top and optimum shape. You know what I mean? You got to be able to run this motherfucking race, because there's a lot of demand on you when you start popping and whatnot, when you start taking off and whatnot. There's a lot of demand. There's a lot of demand. So it is very important that we stay on top of our health, mental health, spiritual health, our economic health, our physical health. Okay, hit that gym up, do the running and whatnot. Go and check your prostate and all of these things. Get your heart checked out. All of these things are real. Shit is real in the field. Okay. And for those of you who dodged getting that poison inside of you, stay dangerous, my niggas. It's more to go. Stay dangerous. You did good on this run, though. You know what I mean? The ancestors are highly, highly satisfied and very proud of you. I'm just here to let you know. So with that being said, I'm not going to talk y'all to death. You know what I mean? Somebody said that he was depressed. This is the second take that I would take. And this has nothing, I'm not taking no shots at anybody who's considered to be single or who don't have a loved one and whatnot. But I would take a mad simple life with no fame, no YouTube checks, no followers, none of that. To be with somebody who could wake up and rub my back in the morning, we could take turns making breakfast for each other. You feel me? She knows my goals and aspirations, and she's there for me. I would take that. before I took the fame, the following, and all of that shit. Because to leave this bitch by yourself, right? Without that loved one, without that significant other, who, even if you tap out at 18 or 80, to know that you tapped out, but you was attached to somebody who you really loved and whatnot, who loved you and was there for you. And when you leave, you're like, yo, I'm not just leaving this shit in limbo. There's somebody that's going to get my affairs in order, or there's going to be somebody to raise these children and whatnot, or there's going to be somebody to make sure that these niggas don't pillage and fucking destroy everything that I built. You know, that simplistic way of living that social media tells us is not fucking it's like, you're not complete. You know what I mean? You're not complete. You don't have a Lamborghini. You know what I mean? Where's your Rolex? You know what I'm saying? Did you get your BDL? You can't sit with us. You know, all of that superficial, that's fake. That's not real, y'all. People like that is dying alone, my niggas. You feel me? At their ceremony, there's nobody that's getting up to talk for them. When they be like, he didn't leave behind nobody but a bunch of opportunities and people that's trying to collect debt and whatnot. We don't need that. If anything, if nothing is being shown to you, what's being shown to you is a lot of those bills that they've been selling. That's a false bill of sale. That shit is not real. It's people that's giving up their family life. It's people that's giving up women and men that love them and whatnot to chase the superficial, to chase the fame, to chase the spotlight, to chase all of that shit. And it's not real. Mine is out here. There's people out here dying in hotels alone, with no attachment, with no real love. They're dying without knowing what it even feels like to be loved. And these motherfuckers got millions of dollars. I'm here to let you know a lot of that shit is not worth the paper that it was printed on. You want real connections, real relationships, real friendships, real kinships with your kinfolk. You want your family to be proud of you. I was at a birthday party last night with 19 Keys, right? And it was a surprise birthday party. And his mother presented him with an award, right? And they gave opportunities for everybody in the audience to get up there and to say something good about the brother, you know what I mean, on his birthday. I think he turned 32. And I was like, yo, I only seen shit like this at funerals where the person is in the box and they don't get their flowers. His mother presented him with an award. And the award was basically giving him credit for all of the work that he's doing. And he said that he's never received an award. And I said to him, well, it don't matter what award that you ever receive after this one. Your mother was the one that gave you your first award. You already won. You already won. That nobody could dangle an award over your head after that, because your mama, your Umi, gave you your first award. So Grammy and Oscar and all of that other shit is secondary. Your own mother awarded you while she was alive. Your mother and your father and your brothers and your sisters are right here, and your peers and your friends are here to celebrate you, King. You feel me? You already won. That's what this is about. Okay? That's what this is about. Family, loved ones. If you don't have a family, you have the opportunity to heal yourself and create one. It's a lot of brothers and women that are out here ready to acquiesce to your demands to create a motherfucking family. So to put in the work right now while we're alive, to raise the bar, to put in the work, to fulfill our purpose, to walk in our purpose, that's the real bag. Is this my platform on YouTube? Yeah, this is it right here. That's the real bag. That's the come up, my niggas. You know what I mean? To make your parents proud, to make your children proud, to make your baby mamas proud, to make your baby fathers proud, to make your grannies and your uncles and all of them, to see them, to allow them to see you shining and whatnot, and you happy and you content, because nobody is perfect. Shit, nobody that I met, I don't even know how to judge perfection, because I don't even have a measurement for that shit. Because I don't know nobody perfect in order to judge what the fuck is imperfect. So let's continue to inspire each other. Let's continue to be genuine with each other. Let's keep it real with each other, but don't do it in a malicious way. You don't got to do it in a malicious way. You don't have to break nobody down in order to truly build them back up. Niggas know that they got flaws. Motherfuckers is aware of their flaws. You know what I'm talking about? If you point it out, don't pour salt and vinegar in it. That's all we ask. Don't pull the fucking scab off and pour salt in our wounds. Point it out. Hold the mirror up by all means, but you don't gotta pour salt in our wounds. We've been hurt enough. We don't need more of it. We don't. So I'm sending out, especially in the shadow of this eclipse that just passed and whatnot, in this new moon, I'm just sending out the power and the energy of healing and growth and development. Especially in places like the manosphere and other places where there's a lot of quote unquote discrepancies taking place, and there's these proxy wars and shit like that. I will hope that the spirit of a Kevin Samuels will, turn a lot of the negativity into more productive positivity, and we get to these solutions and we get to this healing, and we can see Black families thrive and strive again, and motherfuckers stand up the way that we've been standing up. That part. You know what I'm talking about? That part. So with that being said, I'm finna tap out. Like I said, I'll see y'all mañana, if latest Saturday, and then we'll be back for another Melanin Mondays. All right, love and light, y'all, and hit the Cash App up. For those that have been hitting the Cash App while I was on the show, pardon me, I would have gave you a shout out, but I was just in my bag and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, y'all stay dangerous, man. Go to KTL University and get your ticket.